We live. Come on.
Hey now.
Come on with it. Yeah, let's get a couple people in here. Let me take this opportunity quickly here to like my own video. If I can find it. Let me find it here. There we go. There we go. All right, we got one person in here, and that is me. So yeah. How about them fuel prices? How about
Looking good, you know. I'm glad I got a fuel efficient truck. I can say that pretty proudly these days.
So are you in a hotel room right now? Is that
No, I just got done eating an entire pan of meatloaf and washing it down with a diet sun drop. So you know, there's only one place you can be, in your bunker, you know.
It might be bunker time. You think it's bunker time? I don't know. You're off for a few days. You've been what have you been doing?
Well, I'm mainly protesting trucking right now. I'm not protesting the government or anything like that. I'm protesting, you know, just trucking, like doing the job.
What did he ever do to you? I mean,
right.
Why are you protesting just trucking?
Oh, no. I didn't mean the guy just trucking.
Oh.
The act of trucking.
Oh. I thought we were throwing freaking bombs right away.
No missiles. You know, no. I mean, hell, I feel like I'd be the Ukraine in that situation, so I probably wouldn't go stirring the pot.
Oh man. Yeah. So by the time you get back to work, it might be a totally different scenario here. Cheapers. Here they come, Peter, and then we'll give him about 27 seconds to say his piece, and then he's out of here.
Oh my God!
Yo,
what do you want? You're supposed to be on vacation.
We're look in the background, man. We're on vacation.
I was promised a fake trucking free live show here. I need to negotiate my deal.
I wanted to drop in and say hi real quick.
Okay.
Where are you at, Cash?
Where am I at? An undisclosed location.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
It's bunker time.
In my bunker.
So yeah, no, we're about to go swim outside on the top of the hotel that we're at. So
hey, how's the weather down there?
Dude, it's
nobody cares. Oh, I can still see him in the background. He's just laughing his ass off. Oh, someday we're gonna push him over the edge. Anyway, he gets it, folks. He gets it. It's part of the shtick. Boy, is he in for a rude awakening when he comes back to work and fuel's $6 a gallon. I feel bad, but hope he enjoys the vacation.
Hey, they ever changed their mind on that pipeline from Canada?
Yeah, they changed their mind. Said, yeah, still not doing that.
Oh, okay.
Suck it up. Pretty much said, suck it up. We're not doing anything about it. You're on your own.
Yeah. I did hear the...
Go ahead.
I heard the administration say we are a net exporter of oil.
Oh, that's great. Too bad we can't keep any of it. I'd like to have my hands on some of that, and maybe then I wouldn't have to pay, $15,000 a week for diesel fuel.
I feel like that data may be about a year and a half out of date.
See, this is what it get. $100 super chat. Thanks, Fate Truckin'. Hey, Fate Truckin', stick around. I got a big announcement. I'm gonna need you to bust out that Cash App here in a little bit, everybody. I'm gonna need to make an announcement in a little bit here, but yeah. So, what were we saying? We were a net exporter now.
Oh, that's what the administration said. I mean, straight from the belligerent horse's mouth. Like straight told us.
The mouth or the other end?
Well, now that I think about it, I'll have to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah. Oh, Mark Cerrone says, "Hurry up while I'm feeling generous." Okay, all right. Well, here, let me. I'm a phone here. I hate YouTube fundraisers. Let me say that right up front, because you never know what people are doing. So I'm gonna do this like the best way I know how. So today I went and I wiped out my Cash App. Here, let me turn my green screen off for a minute. I put it at 0. I had some money on there from a couple other things. Let me turn my green screen off for a second. Virtual background. We'll just do that for a second. So here's my Cash App, right? 0. Everybody can see that?
Mm-hmm.
I'll show this again in a couple days. I'm taking part in a Make-A-Wish Foundation charity event this weekend. It's if everybody knows what Make-A-Wish is. Make-A-Wish is for children and other young people to, if they have a life-altering illness, they can get whatever their wish is. If they want to go to Disneyland, if they want to meet their favorite celebrity, they want to hang out with Justin Bieber, God love him, Make-A-Wish will make that happen. And this weekend we're having a polar plunge, which is it's god awful cold outside. It's going to be like almost a 0-degree wind chill, and a bunch of us idiots get together and we jump in the icy water. And it's all for charity. It's to raise money. So I'm putting my Cash App. It's on my screen here. It's $DIY semi, and for every dollar I get up to $1,000, I'm going to match it. So if I get $500, I'll match it. If I get $1,000, I'll match it. I had to put a limit on there somewhere because, who knows? Somebody makes a big donation. I can't match that. So that's what we're doing. I got a video on it tomorrow. It's for a great cause. And last year we raised over $20,000 for it. It directly helped a local family get their child's wish last year. So couldn't help but get involved this year. And feel, for the next, this is going to be on Saturday. So from between now and Saturday night, if you want to donate, Cash App, $DIY semi. So I will show this when it comes time to cut the check, and I will show the amount, and I will do a video, making the donation so everybody can see the money went to where it was supposed to go. Will I live through it? I don't know. If I don't make her, the wife will be doing that. The paramedics are on the scene. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little nervous about it. It may take me up to 48 hours to find my balls again. I'm thinking that for sure. But I just last year, after it was our first year going to it, and it really touched us, both of us, and we kind of wanted to get involved. So, if you're looking for something to a cause to get behind, it's a good one. It's as good as any, and I can assure you, whatever money raised, go right to that. I don't need it. I'm putting some of my own money in, and who knows? Maybe I'll even go to a little above and beyond that. I don't know, but it's $DIY semi, DIY SEMI. I got it on the screen here. It'll be in the video tomorrow if anybody's interested. Oh my God. Look at that. We already got one right there. $250. Let's see who this is. Mark Cerrone.
Ooh.
Damn it, boy. He was
Definitely
feeling generous.
feeling
All right, so there we go. First $250 raised. My wife already raised $150, so I'm going to match that. So I'm already at $400.
Dang.
I'll match that. We're already up to $800. So thank you, Mark. Hey, someday we ever meet, I'll buy you a cup of coffee or something. That you're always very generous. We do appreciate it. We know a little boy that got his wish last year, and sometimes it'd be enough to make a grown man cry. Really, some of these kids and what they go through. Kids don't deserve that, man. Kids are innocent. They they don't deserve that. That's all I got. Damn it. Back to my a-hole face. I'm gonna cry.
Is their wish to see a bunch of middle-aged Wisconsin people die in a lake? Like, what's their wish?
I don't know. So last year it was 34 degrees, and no wind. It was actually a pretty nice. It was like the first day of the year where you could go out in a t-shirt and do it. You know, it was our first year there. I'm like, cool. I ain't doing that, but that's cool. This year, man, it's gonna be like 20 degrees and it's windy. Today, we're setting up the tents and setting up so we got a hot tub. So after you get out of the pool, you can immediately go jump in the hot tub, which I can't imagine is gonna feel very good going from 10-degree water to a 105-degree hot tub. But I imagine it might keep you alive, is what I'm thinking. Get your core body temperature back up. We do have paramedics that are going to be there. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping I don't need it. Kind of hoping I don't need to see them. Well, here we go.
Right.
Here, I'm just going to jump in the hot tub with my buddies right here. Then we'll be good. But, yeah. Oh, and I'm going to live stream it. So I got a video about it tomorrow. Saturday, I'm going to live stream it. It's like 1 or 1:30 Central Time.
Okay,
And,
I was going to
just
ask
to
you.
prove
We're
that
going
I
to get
did it.
video of this.
Yeah, just to prove that I did it. I don't know if I can strip all down to my swimsuit, but I don't know. Oh, it's cold. Oh, it's cold out there today and working out there, and I had warm clothes on. But hey, man up, right? It's for the kids. So that's that. Mark, thank you very much again. That's
that's cool.
awesome.
Right off the bat.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks with both feet. He put that in the comments there. Thank you. And yeah, we'll talk about that a little more. But where were we?
Yeah, we were talking about trucking.
We got Paul's in here. Freight Connect support.
Cool.
So, okay, let's get into this for a minute. Because I'm seeing a lot of people are very upset by fuel prices and freight rates. Hey, I get it. I've been trucking the last few days. I still do truck, whatever people think. Like, I don't make video while I'm doing it because I got other things to do. But, you know, I filled up yesterday. It cost me $900 to fill up my tanks. So I feel it too, right? Don't think I'm out of touch with that. And then I filled up the reefer tank, another $250. So, you know, fuel prices suck. I get that. Freight rates are down. Obviously, we're all seeing it. A lot of areas are still better than others, but I think overall, you know, the lane that I run a lot, Wisconsin to a certain port on the East Coast, is down over $1,000 on that lane. You know, and that fuel is up 3 times what it was, you know, just a few months ago. You know, so, you know, I feel a squeeze too, and everybody's upset, and they should be. But you know, Paul and I talked about this a couple weeks ago. He you know, we kind of came to a good consensus of, you know, run a good, efficient business, some other things. Watch the video if you haven't seen it. But everybody's, what should I do? What should I do? What am I going to do? All these people are screwing us. Brokers are screwing us. Are driving things down. We've been talking about that. Like, this point would come for over the last year, right?
Yep.
That eventually this day will come. Get a lot of pushback on that. No, this is forever. This is the new normal. No, it's not. But it's not. I'm not saying I told you so. You know, leading up to things, people say, "What should I do?" The first thing you need to do is just worry about what you can control, right? The other things are out of your control. You can't control them. People want to waste their energy screaming, "The brokers are screwing us. Stop hauling cheap freight." Okay, well, those things don't work. So let's just drop it, right? Like,
You're right.
we've been screaming this "don't haul cheap freight" crap for years. I happen to agree, by the way, but it doesn't work. It's not going to get you anywhere. So just drop it and leave it behind and focus on what you can control. Like, you can control that you don't haul cheap freight. Okay, so do that. You're not going to control what anybody else in this industry does. We're never going to all get together, nor should we. Like, we're in competition with each other. It all comes down to whether you like it or not.
Hang on a second. I'm writing these down. Number 1, haul cheap freight.
There you go. Okay.
Number 1, got it.
If if brokers had that same attitude of let's all stick together and do what we're going to do, this is what it got. This is what it will get us, right? We can't keep just over and over again repeating this cycle of we have to get back at each other. It just doesn't work, right? They have to, we all have to give a little bit somewhere here and there. They're going to have to give. We're going to have to give. I think I said it before. This pendulum had swung so far one direction of the high freight rates to our benefit that when it swings back the other way, it's going to swing hard and probably at the least opportune time. And it hasn't swung as far as it probably will or could, but it is swinging back. So this thing that is a new normal, or it can't ever happen, and that rates can't go down because fuel is high, is a bunch of bunk. Spot market freight doesn't care about your fuel prices. Spot market freight is supply and demand. Contract freight cares about your fuel prices. Contract freight will bump up your fuel surcharge. Spot freight is supply and demand. If you can't see it now, what further evidence do you need? And I'm not saying it to say I told you so. I'm saying it to say that so that you can see it and learn. Because everything we've been talking about with Paul, this is where Paul comes into it, and what I've been saying. This is where it comes in, folks. This is it. This is why we've been, every month getting together and talking about trying to access some of your own direct freight. It's because of this right now. Right? So right now, am I as concerned as everybody else? Absolutely. But also, you know what I'm doing right now? I'm going to lean back on my customers because they're there and they are not cutting their rates. They're chipping in a little bit more. So, on this, there's this particular 250-mile run I do from Wisconsin to Illinois on a regular basis. It usually pay $1,200. We had a conversation. We bumped it up to $1,400. Is that the $1,700 or $1,800 you get on the spot market for the last year? No, but guess what? I'm gonna still get it. If rates drop to on the spot market, if that lane drops to $800, I'm still getting the 14. That's what I'm saying. This whole thing is evidence of what Paul and Paul, if you want, hit the link here and come in here. You're more than welcome. You're always welcome here. And you know why we do this? Because we freaking care. Paul does not pay me to be on this show. I do not pay Paul. Like, we don't make anything off those videos. We make it to get this information out, and because it is eventually the right thing to do for all of us. That is how we fix things. Sitting back and making videos about TQL as a trash broker doesn't fix anything. Does it? I mean, am I missing something here?
No.
And
times
guys,
like these.
Go ahead.
This is another two things I want to point out real quick is, times like these. This is why I don't have my own authority right now, because there's power in numbers, and you're
absolutely right.
And everybody that's talking about different customers and this, that, and other, versus the spot market like you're talking about. Right now is when it comes down to what have you done in the last couple of years? Who have you been working with? What have you been, what have you been building? I went the other day and picked up 3 2022 reefer trailers off the lot the other day. And I seen the price on them. Like, I brought the invoice back with them. And let me tell you, when you build relationships, it's amazing what it does. It really is. Like, I went and got 3 2022 Great Danes with Carrier 7,300 units on them. And I ain't gonna tell nobody's business because they wasn't my trailers, but we're talking less than $100,000.
Yeah. Hunter Cosell, sent $5 for the Make-A-Wish here. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. As people do that, we'll shout it out. We're this weekend we're doing some fundraising for Make-A-Wish Foundation. I'm doing a polar plunge. If you care to sponsor, it's $sign DIY semi. Here, Paul's gonna come in. No, so you're right. I was over when I picked up those other trailers from the guy. I says, so what are you selling new ones for? I said, I'm seeing them for like $150. Oh, Tennessee Orangeman, thank you, by the way, so much. Thank you. He's like 93, 94,000.
Yeah.
For our customers. For if you were buying trailers from us before this is what you pay.
Yeah.
So, no. And Mark Cerrone said too, the brokers I worked with have encouraged me to bump my price for fuel increase. I said I'll consider it in April. Now, when you say customers, that doesn't always necessarily 100% mean, shipper, receiver. A broker is your customer too. Work the hell out of that relationship. Like Spot Market Johnny, if you're going to call around, just chase the highest dollar load all the time, every time. This is what it results in eventually.
Mm-hmm.
We're here, we're living it. This is it. If you could somehow manage to find it in your business-minded brain to find the broker that has that load regularly and work with him, talk to him, get to know him, you'd be probably in the situation that Mark Cerrone is in right now. They're saying, hey, we'll work with you on this, right? I beg everybody, please, for the good of all of us, change the way you're doing this. It's this. If you don't learn from what's happening right now, you're going to repeat this over and over and over and over again. We don't want to do that. Here we got the.
The thing is, trucking's always changing because I ain't saying it'll be better or worse in a month, but it'll definitely be different than where we're at right now.
Nathan Killian, appreciate it. Sent $10 for Make-A-Wish.
Go.
I appreciate that. That's so awesome. You guys are Greg Hayes. Damn it, these kids are gonna have help. $25. Look at that.
Nice.
Appreciate it. I'm gonna have to open up my checkbook here. Thank God I didn't say $10,000. Yeah. So I understand people are upset. I'm upset. I'm worried. I just spent a whole lot of money buying those trailers the day before this all went down, right? Literally the day before this went down. So you don't think I'm sweating it right along with you? But it's a matter of my plan could be bad. My plan could fall apart. It could be terrible. But I feel like worked a lot, hard at it. Talk to the customers. They're like, no, we want you here. We need you here. If you're not here, we turn to brokers and we pay, way more money, and the freight doesn't get picked up.
Well, let me ask you a question here. Let's think about who's in the worst position here. Probably the people that just went and got a new authority, just bought equipment, and are just they're on the spot market. They got new equipment. They got maybe not new equipment, new to them. They got a lot of debt, and now they're feeling the squeeze from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Is it too late right here, right now? What's the plan of action?
You can't just. Let's back up a second because something kind of popped into my head when you started saying that. So, if we go back to the whole lease purchase thing, and a big attraction for some of the people on a lease purchase is it's a walk away lease, right? If something goes bad, I can walk away. I don't like that. So if you're going to be an owner operator, you sign up, you're going to be a business person. Why are you so aggressively seeking out something that you can just give up on so easy and walk away? Why do you want to run away from your business so bad? Like, it's good to have an exit plan, but for that to be a primary motivator, I don't know. Like, I don't think you give up that easily. Well, my question is, why do you want to run away from your business so bad? If you really are business, you say you're business, why do you want to run away so bad? Now, maybe that's a bad way to put it. I understand sometimes there's things you can't recover from, and to get out whole is the best case scenario sometimes. But I feel like right now, like this is young. This is early in the game. Like this is what been going on for a few weeks. Just hang in there for a little bit, right? Let's just see where this goes. Do I see it going anywhere good? We've been told from our quote unquote leadership that we're not going to do anything about fuel prices. We don't think it's a problem, and it's not our fault, by the way. It's all Russia. It's nothing we're doing. Not that we couldn't. Oh, I don't know. Let oil flow through the pipelines again. Start up, some of the more, some more of the wells or the refineries or the what have yous. But it's not our fault. This is Russia. Well, yeah,
Right.
a lot of it. Yeah, a lot of it. But there's things we could do. But they're just saying straight up that we're going to do nothing for you, and we don't really care.
Right.
So
instead of getting oil from Canada, let's get it from Venezuela.
So now we're turning to the companies or the countries that for the last 10 years we have over and over again said are our sworn enemies, like Venezuela and Iran. What do you think they're going to say when we come crawling for oil? They're going to tell us to go pound sand. Just think these things through. When you're saying, oh, fuel's going to go back down, well, ask yourself why it's going to, right? And you'll probably come to the conclusion that, okay, well, this part of the equation is screwed, fuel. Then let's look at the other part of it, freight rates. Does anybody remember back 2018, 2019, 2020? We went through this cycle. 2018 rates were great. They were really good. 2019 things were starting to tank, right? Things were starting to suck. And 2020 came along and they sucked real bad for the first part of the year, right? Because of the quarantines and the shutdowns. Drove companies out of business left and right. Even some big companies. We lost some big companies. We're going to repeat that cycle again, right? I don't know why people can't see this from both sides. If we would stop this cycle, things would get better for all of us. They cut rates to the bone. You lose a ton of carriers. You lose a lot of trucking companies. And then when the economy turns, capacity, demand is higher. Oh, there's no trucks. So now we got to jack rates sky high to get our hands on trucks. So the brokers will bitch because rates are sky high. Yet the reason they're sky high is because we cut rates to the bone and drove so many people out of business. And they're about to do it all over again. The cycle is about to happen all over again if this current situation continues. I told somebody from Trinity that today. I says, you realize what you're doing, right? I says, what you're doing now is going to cause rates to go even higher than they were last year. Eventually, at some point, you're gonna lose trucks out of the whole system, and you're already short on trucks, so you're gonna drive more out, and rates are gonna go even higher. Why can't you see that? Here's a man. We're gonna bring in. We're always looking for people smarter than us.
You're already short on trucks, so you're going to drive more out.
You got to turn your YouTube app
Why
off,
can't
Paul.
you see that? Here's a man. We're going to bring.
Well, we're going to get him to turn his YouTube off because it's back feeding into the microphone.
Yeah, the panic right now with the fuel prices going up is causing a lot of rates to go down.
Yeah, hold on.
Turn his YouTube off because it's back feeding into the microphone.
Oh, you're still back
the
feeding in there,
panic
Paul.
right now with the fuel price.
You got your YouTube app open. You got to close that and just keep StreamYard open.
Because it's back feeding in.
So we'll bring him back in here in a second. We'll turn his audio back on. Sorry, go ahead, Cash.
Well, what I was saying is, with the fuel prices going up, it's putting people in a panic, and that's causing the rates to go down.
Oh yeah, because I mean, people got to make payments. They got like people just put an enormous amount of money in a bet. You know, a lot of it was a bet on I got to participate in this here.
Yep.
And
Okay.
okay, now we got the man of the hour in here. Thanks for coming in, Paulie. We didn't really plan this. So what say you?
Hey,
Hello, by the way, Paul. Sorry.
Paul,
can you
this-
guys hear me okay?
Yeah, this is my brother
Yeah.
Cash here. He's a good friend of the channel. We talk about you a lot. He's like-minded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not nearly as handsome, but he has
Oh,
these
come
cool.
on.
He has these cool hoodies. Everybody should get one. Cash is King
Yeah.
Trucking on YouTube, and it says hashtag damn it boy on the back. So everybody get
Yeah.
one of those.
Cash is I think I've seen him a few times on
Yeah.
some
I feel like I
videos.
know Paul because I've watched him on your channel so much.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
You got a little quiet there now. Did you hit something?
Are you able to hear me? Maybe
Barely.
not. Here,
Barely.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna try something.
We could hear you great before. All right, he's getting his.
Good old StreamYard.
I'm actually, if you can hear me, I'm trying to talk through my phone. So you guys keep going with your show, and I'm gonna try to do something so I can hear you.
Okay. Whatever you were doing there at the first part worked great. You must have changed something, but okay. $6 a gallon in PA. Yeah, hold on to your hat.
Yep.
Brokers don't understand. They think more people will be in the market.
Okay.
They're smarter than we give them credit for. A lot of newcomers, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, a lot of these people have never seen a cycle. You know what I mean? They've never been through the whole
Yeah.
roller coaster.
So that's another thing. You know, a lot of, like we said, a lot of new authorities last year. Never been through a freight cycle. So it's panic time. And
Mm.
you know, this is a legit panic. It's a legit thing to be worried about. Yeah, absolutely. But
Oh yeah, if you just went and paid $250,000 for a truck and 80, 90, 100,000 for a trailer, yeah, you're getting squeezed hard right now.
well, and there's more than that to it. Okay. And I think I said this in my last video with Paul, like your decisions you've made in the last couple years are gonna shine through right now. So if you just went and paid $310,000 for a truck that's gonna get 5.5 miles per gallon, hey, don't come crying to me. I don't feel that sorry for you.
I've been getting lit up on YouTube comments from a guy that just bought a 300-inch glider, trying to explain to me how he's got it figured out because you know, he's getting 5.5 miles per gallon. I'm like,
Hey,
I don't care what you get, guy. That's on you. But
Yeah.
I was telling him about. I was trying to tell people about those air tabs. You know how quick return on investment is when fuel is $6 a gallon or something like that. Like,
Yeah, it's
that's like a
insane.
month. You can get your
Like
money back in a month.
Everything is a no-brainer. Hey, we got a bunch of people in here right now. Let me just say this again. This weekend, we're participating in the fundraiser for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and I'm going to be doing the polar plunge. So I'm going to be jumping into freezing cold freaking water because I'm out of my damn mind. Raising some money right now on a Cash App here. I wiped it up to zero. Oh, I just got $100 one. Hold on.
Whoo.
Mark M sent $25. Appreciate that, Mark M. I won't say your last name, but I know that's you. Thank you. So Cash App is $DIY semi. I'm gonna match everything up to $1,000 here. So, and I'll videotape it. We're gonna live stream it. I'm gonna show giving the money away. It's all gonna be like, I hate these YouTube fundraisers, man, but like I promise you, this one it's all going to them. And if you don't have Cash App, you need to download it. Use that symbol also. I think we both get like $5. I'll also just put that $5 with the donation. $DIY semi. So yeah, thank you, Mark.
You're not gonna take that money and go to like an all-inclusive Haiti resort, are you?
Yes, but then afterwards I'll get one of those giant fake checks and just make it look like I gave it to. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You're gonna meet the people tomorrow. One of the people that's running it tomorrow in my video, and we will present the money directly to them.
Yeah. We'll get everybody to share that video out. We'll get that around the interwebs there.
That would be great, man. That's such a good cause. It is.
Yeah,
Like
stuff like that. Yeah.
Kids are so innocent. Yeah. So, man, I hope we can get Paul back in here.
Hey, earlier I was saying, what's the plan of action if you've just got your authority? Say it's 3 or 4 months old, you got no customers. Would you say maybe call Paul?
Yes. I mean, the information you're going to learn does not only apply to like getting freight, right?
Yeah.
It does, but the lesson is so much more valuable than that. Like the video I just did where I got these trailers for on the cheap, right? That wasn't
Right.
something I'd have done before Paul taught me about talking to people and building. We can hear you now, Paul. And
Okay, you
building
can hear me?
relationships. Yeah, now you're good.
Okay, sorry about that. I was giving Cash a compliment actually, so I want to make sure I
Hold
don't.
on.
I want to
Let
make
me-
sure I finish that, or at least put that out there.
Let me mute your mic. We don't give each other compliments around here. We just
Let
sorry,
me get my
go
good
ahead.
ear ready.
Huh?
That's my good ear. Go ahead.
What I was saying is that I think I've seen you a couple times, on some videos, man, and you're always funny. So I always enjoy hearing what you have to say, and it just it definitely, not that it keeps things light, but you're always on point. So I really enjoy what you have to say. So
Thank
Thank
you. That means a lot coming from Paul. Let me tell you, got a lot of respect for Paul.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable with all this niceness going on.
hey, man, I saw you earlier. I saw the tears flowing earlier.
Yeah,
You're actually human.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody, and we're done.
You don't mind if I cut that clip and make a video of it, do you? Take it out of context, maybe.
I mean, I can't think of a better cause.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody has their own,
Yeah.
I just want to take that clip and have you like standing in front of a gas pump, with the tears coming out of you.
Oh, there you
go. Well, I tell you what, I missed about probably the last 10 minutes of it, of what you guys have been talking about, but I definitely was interested in what you guys were saying. So I just thought I'd stop in. I don't know if I have anything to share or add or anything like that, but I guess I'll just listen to you guys and see if I can join in.
No, you do have a lot to add.
Right.
My thing here just went a little wonky. Let me get me back here.
One thing I would like Paul to talk on is we were saying, like, what's the plan of action if you're one of these guys that just got an authority like 3 or 4 months ago and you're just working the spot market? Like, what should they be doing right now to secure their business?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think pretty much, obviously, you just set me up from the standpoint of as far as what we do. But I'll say this. If you think about it, if you said that they just got into it 3 months ago, right? Well, obviously for us, we can go back beyond 3 months ago, right? And we know what happened a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, what the industry has been like with what's it called? This black swan event that occurred, right?
Pandemic.
It has actually, it's something that doesn't happen every year. It doesn't happen every 5 years. You know what I mean? But there is uncertainty that happens in our industry. But this thing that has happened, it's impacted everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every person around the world has been impacted by this thing. So with that said, it's kind of difficult to say these past 2 years, this is what our industry is like, right? This is the way it's going to be. This is what the normalcy is going to be. No, this thing hit our industry and it drastically made a change, right? It changed the fact that rates are going to be sky high. Why? Because demand has gone up incredibly high. Demand or supply is low, right? When you have high demand, low supply, you have higher rates, right? That's just the way it is. But in regards to our industry, it will go up and it will go down. Even if this thing sticks around, if it was to wreak havoc on a longer term, well, there are going to be more people that are going to enter our industry, right? And when they enter our industry, what's going to happen is there's going to be more supply, which is going to cause the rate to go down, right? So that rate is going to go up and it's going to go down based upon supply and demand. So to talk to someone that's been in our industry for 3 months, the key thing is to know that this is not normal, right? Meaning that the rates that we've been saying, those are not normal rates, okay? Not to try to sound like everything is going to go south on us, right? But it's the reality of it. Now, this industry, this is a great industry. I think it is. I am glad that technology is starting to jump in and starting to change some things. Now, this thing that has come about, this Black Swan event, it has caused a lot of things to move forward, right? So we're starting to look at things in a different way, and I think that's good. We need that. We do need to make changes, changes that have been talked about for a long time, but now they're starting to come about. So I would say that someone that's gotten into this just within the last 3 months, man, look at it from that standpoint. Look at the way the past has been, where we have been and where we're at now, and how technology has entered the industry, and what the capabilities, of what you're able to do based upon technology. But to get back to your original question, I would say build relationships always, regardless of whether times are good or bad. You need to develop relationships. They're going to make a difference, not just in regards to getting direct shippers, and helping your business to grow a stronger foundation, but also in other areas, as Adam talks about, being able to find trucks. He's able to find equipment in a time where prices are really high, but he's getting some pretty decent rates. He's able to find them. People are reaching out to him and say, I've got equipment, and he's able to get some pretty good pricing on it. So it's about building those relationships. So that's what I would say.
Yeah. Let me catch up on a couple of things here. Greg Hayes, thank you. You just sent $25 for the Make-A-Wish. Appreciate that. With both feet. Hold it, hang in there. We'll get there in a second. Mark Cerrone says match up to 2K and we'll split the second 1,000. That's a deal, Mark. I'll take you up on that. Wow. We'll do that. Also, California trucking with VLOX. Where'd you go? I got to get back to your comment here. Fuel prices definitely got me down. I'm over $1 per mile fuel cost. Would you, if you can, if you're not driving, can you come in here? Like, I want to talk face to face with you. Have a conversation with you man to man. I don't want to talk, and then you can't say anything back. I'm not going to say bad shit to you. Don't worry about it. But Paul, when we do this, we talk business minded and professionally, but I think it's time to stop caring about people's feelings. Like, I think people need to hear some things, and it's not going to be pleasant, but if you want to survive this, like, check your feelings at the door and start using this melon right here and what's between it. To hell with what anybody else thinks. This is your business. This is your livelihood. Your family likely depends on this. You got to maybe make some tough decisions, and some decisions that people might judge you for. But hey, too bad. So sad. Like, it's things got real. So with both feet, thanks for coming in. Finally.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I'm glad to have you here. We see you a lot hanging out. What's going on with you?
Oh, nada. Just in between runs, and saw you're live, and saw that you agreed to Mark's challenge to up your offer. So I sent that second 25. So that's
that's you. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. That's awfully nice of you. You get to watch me potentially be led to a watery death this weekend, I guess. I don't know. What the hell am I thinking? I don't know. But so you're California, right?
No, Idaho.
Idaho.
Yeah.
Okay. What's fuel out in Idaho?
I paid $5.83 with 6 cents off last night. So, or $4.83. Sorry.
Okay. So, Paul, we were talking. Oh, you missed it earlier. One of the first, when we started this Cash and I were talking, and people are saying, "What do I do? What do I do?" And I guess my first response is worry about what you can control
Mm-hmm.
right now. There's so many things you can't control right now. A lot of things you can that you always have been able to control. We talked the other day about being a successful business person, and part of it is step back and look at the decisions you've made and be honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right now is time for that. Step back and say, did I make smart decisions over the last couple of years when things were really, really good?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
if I didn't, okay, how do I change that? Right?
Yeah.
And what can I do going forward?
Yeah.
So those are the things you can control right now. To sit back and say, this is a trash broker or these people are screwing us. Hey, you can't do anything about that right now. You can't change them. Everybody's first response is everybody stop hauling cheap freight. Well, that's never going to happen, and the reason is because you can't control what anybody else does.
Sure. True.
You cannot. That
True.
is never, ever. Oh, Ida be damned, Nastic be damned. That is never, ever worked, and it never, ever will work. If you
No.
hear nothing else tonight, hear that. Because you cannot control what anybody else does.
Yeah.
So stop wasting your time with it. Right? Funny how somebody stop hauling cheap freight will pass you at 80 miles an hour going down the highway and not see any irony in that.
Yeah.
Right? So that out of the way, then it's on to the things you can control.
Yeah.
You can control what kind of truck you drive. You can control whether or not you're putting in time every day to compare all your different options and buying fuel and getting the best price, knowing how to figure in IFTA and fuel tax, slowing down, improving your aerodynamics, learning about tires, learning about everything about equipment, how to make it more efficient, freight lanes, what Paul talks about right here, building relationships. You can control all that. So let's focus on the cans instead of the who's screwing me today. Because nothing comes of that. Nothing. That changes nothing.
Yeah. With the one thing that I notice is, and this is over the years, when rates aren't the best, obviously that's when people reach out to me, right? When the rates are pretty good, I don't hear from anyone. But what I do hear is that a lot of people are they're trying to get that best rate. You know what I mean? I mean, they'll work the brokers or whoever they'll work to get the best rates, right? But when we go back to when the rates aren't the best, then it becomes a challenge, or I should say there is a finger to point, right? It's the point at the brokers that they're screwing me, they're getting 50% and what have you. That might be happening. I mean, I don't know.
It might,
but it might be
still
happening.
Can't control it.
No, and that's the point, is that what is it that you can control? Okay, that's fine. But then how, I mean, that's, the response that I would take is, okay, that's fine. Now, what do I do about it? So again, it's about building relationships, because the key thing is this: if I am working with direct shippers, right, and they're happy and I'm happy, why should I care? You know what I mean? Why should I care about how much the broker is making? Why should I care about, in terms of my customer, that they're making money or saving money? If I'm good, they're good. Let's do business together. Because if they're not in business, right? If my customer is not in business, if the broker's not in business, it's a good chance I'm not getting the business. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it can't be just me, right? You see? So it should be okay that they're making money. I mean, when I go back to the broker and the times are good for me, I'm trying to get the best that I can. Is the broker looking at me and saying, wow, he's making all the money and I'm not? I mean,
that's what was happening that's how it's been for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, brokers haven't been killing. Have they had good years? Yeah, everybody's had good years. They've had record years, but as a margin or as a percentage, only they know. But we need each other. Velox, you're muted. You got yourself muted there. All right.
Yeah, I've got these cheesy earbuds in, so I didn't want to
Yeah.
have all my
Thanks for
background
coming
noise
in.
there.
Thanks for coming in. We've never met before. What's can I call you by your first name? I'm Adam.
Nick.
What's your name?
Nick.
Nick. Okay, I forget.
Yeah.
I have watched some of your videos. Okay. I wanted you to come in because from what I know about you, right? You're in the last year, newer authority, right?
Mm-hmm. It's
Getting
almost a
going.
year now.
You're
Yep.
you're in California.
Yep.
You're in the reefer game. I watch, some of the videos, and like this is me and you talking man to man. The YouTube bullshit aside, like I don't know if you've watched this. I don't do drama. I know you're not really in that either. So
Yeah.
whatever me and you say to each other is not, any kind of that. Like we're being honest with each other, right? You need to connect with Paul. Okay. Like you're when I look at where you're starting at, where you're at right now, I think back to where I was at that point, right? And how different things would have been if I would have done that sooner, 20 some years ago. So the opportunity that you're starting in this market and the opportunities that are there, like Paul can help you with that. Like it's all there for you, right? You're past the point now where you have some time under your authority. Like pretty much all the brokers are good with you. You've learned a lot, obviously, from watching your videos along the way. I tell you what, if you were working with Paul already, that situation the other day with having that load problem getting held out, that would have went very differently for you. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I probably would have had someone to call and ask, "Hey, what do I do with this?" instead of threatening to do something that's illegal.
I almost reached out to you, but like I'm not gonna get involved. It's not my business. Some things you gotta learn on your own. But
yeah,
that's what you said, and I'm not being harsh on you for it, but what you said, don't ever say that again.
I could tell when the guy heard it and he's like, "Oh man, hey man, this is a recorded line." He was trying to be cool about it. Like everyone crapped on the broker in my comments section, and I was like, "Why are you guys?"
It very well.
Yeah, I was like really impressed with him.
Yeah, he could have rained down hell on you, and he chose not to. So be careful about the holding. The term is holding a load hostage. That's a very touchy situation.
So he called it that. I said I might sell it and file a claim against it, which is a whole other,
that's
threat,
what we call the nuclear option. But don't ever do it.
I've spent too many hours in Facebook groups, produce hauler groups and stuff. But I didn't know exactly what I could do and what I should do, and so I just was kind of like, "Hey man, I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do, and if this is what I need to do." And he was just like, "Whoa, hold on, back up." And ultimately, I think because I was like at least nice about it, even though I was threatening to do something crazy, because I was nice about it, he, it was a Monday morning. It was a holiday morning. It took some time, but he got a third party, warehouse to take it. They unloaded me that day by noon. So, I mean, ultimately I probably lost if you move my 10 hours that I was going to take off anyway, I probably lost 4 hours out of the whole.
And I hope you understand, I'm not being a jackass to you when I say that.
No.
First, whenever something like that happens, before you say anything, first, please go back and read your contract that you have with that broker, because you might have lost. I mean, if you lost $5,000 on the deal, right? If you lost a week's worth of work, oh boy, what you would have lost if you would have done what you said you were going to do.
Yeah. And I never intended to. I just was trying to convey to him that hey, I'm not going to sit here. I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to do in this situation, but I know I have options, and I've heard people talk about this, so I'm threatening this, even though I don't. I told him that at the end of there was a second video after he got me offloaded and we got it taken care of, where I told him, I appreciated him working the phones and getting me offloaded, and how I appreciate how cool he was about it, and he said basically the same thing to me, and I just told him, sorry I had to kind of threaten something that I don't even think I would ever do, but I get
that. You get mad, you get upset, but part of what we try to convey over, period of time is the responsibilities that you have when you have your own authority. So
Yeah.
like when you're leased onto somebody or you work for a carrier, this kind of thing happens, but you never see. It's like seeing how hot dogs are made, right?
Yep.
You don't ever want to see that. Well, they deal with this stuff all the time, and we just take things for granted. Same here.
Yeah.
I've been through that kind of stuff as a company driver, but things are delicate, and like you can be held responsible for things, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't ever want to have that, and that's this is something. When I had that happen my first time, I had already been dealing with Paul. I called Paul. I said, Paul, what do you think I should do here? He's like, give me their phone number. That's exactly what you said. I'm like, no, just let me handle this. I said, but just what have, and you've seen this in the past.
Yeah.
What should I do? He's like, well, do this, but why don't I call him? I'm like, no, just let me. Like, I think you were as mad as I was, but I got through it. But just step back and think about it for a little bit. Like sometimes losing a couple thousand is okay. To avoid like even the threat of it is really like, because they'll blacklist you. They'll put you on carrier 411. They'll put that on carrier 411 and stuff. And so I know a broker. I have a guy I know that's a broker personally, and he shared this with me shared his screen with me on carrier 411, and he's like, this is what we look at. These 4 things right here. If I see a red mark by any of these 4 things, I will not give you a load.
Mm-hmm.
That particular issue was either number 1 or number 2. If there was a report on you for hostage a load, or there's different degrees to that, right? You obviously didn't drop it in your yard and say, I'm not delivering it unless you give me another $1,000. It was a different kind of problem. So it probably would have been measured differently, but I see some things that you go through that I went through along the way. And sometimes I think about, kind of reaching out, but I'm like, no, it's not my business. And I know how it is. Like, we don't like to tell people what to do, just offer solutions. But yeah, I'm glad it worked out for you too. But did you notice how, like, when you changed the way you were interacting with him, that like he changed, right? He wanted to help you and kind of get, he wanted you to behave in a certain way. He kind of in a way coached you through it. He's like, okay, don't say that, right?
Yeah.
Calm down. Here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
But he never even brought up the option of dropping it, in a warehouse. He was just like, all I can do for you is this layover. And I'm like, oh man, like that's just not going to cut it. And so while like I said, it all worked out, so it was good, but I definitely learned from that experience. And honestly, my biggest benefit of doing YouTube isn't the little bit of money I make or the friends I've made or any of that. It's how many people teach me in the comments, because I'm pretty upfront with everyone. Like, hey, I had never hauled reefer before I bought this trailer. I was looking for a dry van, and then I was like, hey, there's no dry vans out here. I found a lead on a reefer. I'm just gonna buy it and figure it out. And so, along with that comes, that's been my learning curve, is all in the comments section. And I usually cross-check with a few people that I know personally to make sure I'm not learning from the wrong people. But
I'm going to say the opposite. I read the comments on that video. I would say do not. No, most of them are wrong.
Most of them, but you can, I guess, so it's pretty easy to figure out the ones that are wrong, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I'd have dropped that thing on the front doorstep of the broker. I'm like, all right, well, I think
hope you got 100 grand to pay for a load of whatever.
Yeah, but, Laffy Taffy.
Yeah, but no, I think, like, I think you do a lot of things right, but like you obviously have had a learning curve, right?
A little bit.
Okay, so if you could go back and cut that learning curve in half, and you got a learning curve for the next 10 years, 20 years.
Yeah.
If you had somebody that could cut that learning curve for you, how much better off do you think you'd be? How much faster do you think you get to that level of earning or level of saving or level of, cutting down on problems, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get you.
You have your own authority. You're in Southern California, right?
I'm in Northern California, but
Northern California.
Yeah.
Call Paul, even if it doesn't work out, like, see if there's something there for you. Right?
Yeah.
I just in a time like this, especially, right? It's a glaringly obvious, right? Because rates have tanked a little bit in California, right?
Yep.
So okay, what I've seen you went home empty a lot of miles, right?
Yeah, for
you've
my
had to do some,
daughter's softball game. Yeah.
yeah, you've had to do some different things.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
okay, you're doing all these different things. Try this different thing.
Yeah.
Right?
No, and believe me, I mean, I've watched Paul on here a couple times. I don't comment all the time when I'm in these.
Yeah, I get it.
Because sometimes I feel like people comment to, like, I don't know, promote themselves, or I don't know. I just get weird. I'll just put it on while I'm driving or whatever, and I'll listen to you guys. And so I've thought about calling Paul. I have, because I have the one customer on my home side that I deal with, and so I have commitments to them. But then it's like I got to get back, and I'm working through brokers to get back, and that's the part where, it'd be nice to have, the out and back covered each trip, so that I'm not, flying by the seat of my pants, hoping I can find a load that works together with my reload I got to get back home and all of that kind of stuff. So, and that's what I ran into last Friday was, just having my daughter's softball opening day and the load that I needed to pick up from my customer, and all that stuff kind of converging with the Friday load counts out of Southern Utah, Las Vegas, and Southern California are just garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like 11 loads on the board.
let me answer a question quick. Kelter Rooster Travels, how much loss should you eat? And anybody jump in on this. This is for everybody. How much loss should you eat for somebody else's mistake, such as in VLAX's case? Well, what happened is he had a load that, long story short, it couldn't be delivered, and they wanted to leave it on his trailer for multiple days, just trying to get rid of the load. First thing you got to decide is, like, what's the potential outcome? What's worst case scenario, right?
Yeah.
So everything is going to be different. Sometimes you might eat $500. Sometimes you might eat a few thousand. Like, you got to figure out, well, what level? Okay, how much of this was your fault?
Yeah.
Okay, if you got a reefer load and your reefer went out of temp, and this is 100% on you. If that broker is offering you any solution that saves you money, you take it. Or I know this happened to a guy. Well, it didn't happen. He did it, right? He was taking a load of pudding from Wisconsin to California. Stopped in Las Vegas for a truck wash. Shut his reefer off. Came out of the truck wash. Forgot to turn his reefer back on. Pulled into the customer in California, and they said, "Hope you like pudding." Guess what? Insurance doesn't cover that. That's neglect. So if that's a situation and the broker is offering me any level of any kind of relief, even a place to take it and get rid of the load for 50 cents on the dollar, okay, I'm eating a lot on that one. If it's 100% their fault, we're going to talk a little bit, right? Okay, if they say, well, I can get it off your trailer in 3 days for this amount of money, or 5 days for this amount of money, well, you got to figure out what 2-3 more days is worth. So it's a lot. Okay, well, okay, Spear Warrior, let me talk about this, because this doesn't, okay, find a cold storage to store it. Okay, you going to pay for it? That you can't just show up to a cold storage place and say, take this off my trailer, right? There has to be a contract. There has to be an agreement.
Someone will pay you later.
Yeah, they don't know whose stuff this is. They don't even know if they had the legal right to have it in their warehouse.
Right.
You can't just say, here, take this and charge it to broker, charge it to the customer. It doesn't work that way. Like, it doesn't. So people have to be involved in this, right? And if you do, you have a contract. If you deliver that freight anywhere but where it's supposed to go, you could be in trouble. So if you're going to do that, you need to have written instruction. There's a lot that plays into this. So the big thing is, I'll take it back to the shipper, right? How many times have you heard that? Shipper don't freaking want it back. It's off their property. It's not their problem. And half the time in reefer business, the place you picked it up from is not the shipper. It's an Americold. It's a US cold. It's a Lineage. It's Tyson's product. Just because you picked it up from Lineage, you think Lineage is taking it back? Hell no. It's just not the way it works. Like, you got to work through this. And first thing you do is figure out what your obligations are. Because if you have your own authority, you are obligated, right? You could end up so much worse off than eating a couple $1,000s and sitting on it for 3 days. You could do so much worse. Am I missing that? Like, you've probably been through this situation, Paul, on the other end of it. Am I missing anything?
No, I mean, I was just thinking about it, and I was thinking about it from the other end of it as a broker, when I was, brokering freight. And all brokers aren't the same, and I get that, right? Because I've worked with some, and it was challenging. Even carriers, all carriers aren't the same as well. But the key thing for me when I was a broker was, I wanted to do the right thing, right? But when you're trying to do the right thing, there is a process to go through, right? And you want to make sure you cover your bases, because in the end, if you think about it and then you reflect back on how everything went down, you have to be accountable for yourself as well, right?
Yeah.
Got upset, and you wanted to be threatening, and you wanted to do all these different things, right? Just to try and get back or show your try to show some type of power, within this whole process. That can come back and bite you. You don't want to try to, I know you want to do the right thing. Okay. You want to do your part. You want to be diligent in that. Even if it doesn't go the way it should go, you want to be diligent on your end. Okay. Now, the way I look at it is this way. When you are that way, it helps you to operate that way in other situations. These aren't going to happen every single load. These bad situations aren't going to be that way in every single load. But the way you handle things, you want to be able to handle it on a level that that definitely gets the job done. That doesn't put you in a bad situation. Because we can get upset about a thing, and the next thing we know, we're wanting to do something that again that bites us in the end, and you just don't want that. I mean, you have a load. If you have a load that you can't reach out to someone, and someone is not picking up the phone, it really does get frustrating. Document everything that you do. You know what I mean? Document everything that you do, right? When it comes down to it, or you're talking to insurance and what have you, here's what happened. Here was my part in the whole process. Because sometimes we have to back up, and then we look and we know that we did something that we shouldn't have done, and we want to omit that part of it, right? And then that contributed to the problem. You just don't want to deal with it. I'd rather deal with the situation and look back on it and say, hey, I did everything that I could to make this situation right.
And there's let's not miss something here too. If you handle if you handle this the right way,
right,
there's opportunity here, right? And I've had this happen. Okay, so when a problem comes up with a broker, you handle it the right way, that broker is going to say, "Wow, like your communication is great. You handled this great. Can I get you on this lane, Reg? Can we please do this again?"
Yeah.
Because when rates were high, they can get any moron to haul their freight. I tell you what, you provide them good service, they remember you. I'm dealing with this with a Trinity agent right now. Yeah. Like, they want me on this lane every single week because of what we did for them in the beginning. So there's an opportunity to gain future business. There's a bunch of talk here going on about rate cons and stuff. How do you know if you're getting the right rate con from the beginning? If the delivery appointment on the rate con is incorrect, isn't that a breach of contract? Some different things about the rate con. More importantly is the contract. The contract you have with them governs everything. Rate con is guidelines for that particular load. You back up to the contract you signed when you fill out a carrier packet. That's the first place you go to. Let me back up. Cash is King just sent $100, doggone green screen, for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Appreciate that, buddy. I'm going to match that. We're doing a fundraiser this weekend for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I appreciate that, man. Good cause. I'm going to match everything up to 1,000. Now Mark says we're going to go up to 2,000 and split the rest. So we'll do that. it's oh, by the way, it's if you want to contribute, it's $ DIY semi, all one word. Send it to the Cash App, and we're gonna document everything here and live stream it. So that's Saturday. What were we talking? Okay, so rate cons. Yeah, the meat of the matter is in your contract that you sign with the carrier. I'm sorry, I'm just running my mouth here, and we got Greg is in here, Nick, Nomadic Brit. What are you guys like? Come on with
I
it.
want to say is that Nick, you look about 10 years old with that because you ain't got no beard now. Whatever that's all going on. Half of the great freight races in here because BT is watching as well. It's just amazing that how much since we did that freight race. What was that? About 6 months ago, 5-6 months ago. Now, how much that whole situation has changed now with freight and everything, rates, fueling. It's just remarkable. It's just good to see Nick. I mean, we talk, but I've not seen him clean shaven like this, looking like a youngster. But it's just amazing how the climate has changed since when did we do the freight race?
Better than a year ago.
No, it was October to November, something like that, or
yeah, I was just
somewhere
saying
around
there was
there.
a lot. Yeah, how much has changed since October?
But this happened very rapidly. Like this fuel
right.
thing came on really quickly. Usually things that happen quickly aren't long lived. I think the fuel thing is probably going to be a little bit longer lived because the people in power don't seem to think it's a problem. I think they're using it to further their green agenda. The other stuff, the rates, we will see. It came on very quickly. So will it last? I don't know. We still have other issues to work through. You know, we still have all the same issues we had a month ago, right? Shortage of trucks, shortage of trailers, shortage of parts, shortage of drivers, not enough trucks for capacity, blah 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 blah. Right? We still have all those issues. That hasn't changed. So just give it a little bit before we start making rash decisions, right? I don't know. I think the fuel thing will probably outlive the freight rate thing, but I'll probably be proven wrong next week.
That with talking about it's kind of like when something new enters, everything tends to move as well when we have something new introduced, something that's normal, right? And I think that's kind of what's happened right now. There's still a lot of freight out there that needs to move. There's still not capacity, that can move all this freight. So we still have those challenges that you were mentioning. There is where the consumer doesn't have the savings power that they had before, right? They spent a lot of that. I think that people will be looking to go back to work, right? Are they going to be able to fill all the jobs that are out there? I don't know, but I think people will be going back to work because they don't have the money that they had before. The government is not providing the type of money that was being provided last year. Going to be spending what they have. Well, may spend, but yet it may go to credit, right? So there is credit that is being. You have houses that are being purchased. There are those that can still purchase homes. Rates are still low. Interest rates are still low. When they purchase homes, they purchase furniture. So I think that the consumer is still going to be spending money, but I think a lot of the money is going to be spent, with businesses trying to replenish, the inventory and trying to catch up. And then at the same time, they're going to be looking at the second half of the year as well, just to make sure that they're ready for the second half. Will the consumer be spending a lot of money in the second half? I don't know. I don't know that yet. Normally we don't know until it's been done, right? Yeah. But the thing is this, freight is moving, right? Freight needs to move. Get in there while you can. And I keep ending it on this: build relationships, because guess what's going to happen? Once we start seeing things shift, or do you think that you'll find yourself still working with brokers as you did before? You know what I mean? if you find yourself working with direct shippers when things do ship, all right, you've done something, to reposition your business, right? I always look at it as a stronger foundation, right? You're building a stronger foundation when you're developing those direct shipper opportunities. But the key is this: don't wait until when things have changed. Do that. This is the time that they're willing to.
The opportunity could change. Like,
yes,
things swing out of our favor. That that window might close a little bit. Hey, if you go and then do this and decide, you know what, this shipper freight thing ain't for me, you can always go back to the spot market. Like, they'll take you back. You know what I'm saying? You don't even have to fill out an application. Everett Mathis, thank you. He's just sent $25 super. Somebody else just sat one too. Damn, Mark Cerrone just sent $500 for the half of his match. Damn it, Mark. Mark dropped $750 for the Make-A-Wish Foundation tonight. Man, I can't even say enough. Like, I'm gonna make sure they know that people know about that. I'm gonna try to keep everybody's name, so when I make this donation, I'm gonna make a list and make sure everybody gets recognized for what they did. That's just freaking awesome. Thank you.
Can I just say, Adam, with regard to the spot market, obviously I'm contract freight because most people know who I'm contracted to. Lots of people tell me about the spot market is getting very patchy, and I can't speak for the spot market because I'm not on the spot market. How is the spot market doing at the moment, in your opinion, and Nick's opinion, because he's out over on the West Coast?
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to know, based on because I've never had my authority in a January, in a first quarter. So how is this compared to maybe 2017 first quarter? Because I know 18 was a little weird, and then 19 and 20 were just silly.
Historically, I mean, pretty strong, honestly. Usually January to March is the slow time. But I think let's back up a little bit and say, people have lost sight of what the spot market is and what it's for. Like, spot market is where freight is supposed to go that can't get covered by contract freight, right? That's what the spot market was for. Yeah, it's where you go to meet your girlfriend. You don't marry your wife there, right? It's like Tinder. It's like the Tinder of freight. So
it's crazy.
It's ever changing. It's ever changing, and it's purely market conditions, right? It is designed to change on a whim. It's purely supply and demand market conditions, and a lot of it is seasonal. A lot of your seasonal freight goes right to the spot market, especially in reefer. Reefer is largely seasonal, right? You know that, Nick, from being in California. You got different produce seasons that move along the coast, right? And then you go Yuma, Laredo, Nogales, Oxnard up in the valley. All along, Florida has nursery season, produce season. Georgia has a watermelon season. Michigan has a nursery season. Up in the Northwest, they have cherries, apples, onions. Largely.
Yep.
So rates adjust accordingly, purely based on season. A lot of times, we're seeing a lot of that. Like, the weather is changing, spring is coming. Markets are shifting for the seasonal stuff, and that alone can have, a large effect on certain areas. So you take that out of the equation, you have the rest, everything else. And just because reefer is kicking off in a certain area, don't think that doesn't affect dry van rates,
right?
Because you got, an off season, you have a lot of reefer people pulling dry freight. Well, you suck them out of the dry freight market and put them back to work pulling produce because the season's here. You damn sure affect the dry market.
Yeah.
It all affects each other. Right. So there's some of that going on because of the weather. It's nursery season is going to be starting in Florida. It's already started in Michigan. I've held some nursery stuff in Michigan. So that's going to change rates there.
Yeah.
Which will change rates. Every time you kick off a season somewhere, you draw those trucks from somewhere else. So there's a certain amount of that goes on anyway.
Yeah.
But that's not all of what's going on right now, obviously. So that we got to keep in mind what the spot market is for. Not saying you can't build a successful, long-lasting business off of just spot market. People do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes because they're good. Sometimes, you know, I'd take lucky over good just about any day. But you always got to have that in mind, that that's what it's for, and we are not as in control of the stock market as what we like to think we are. And over the last 2 years, a lot of people, I feel like they lost sight of that.
Yeah.
And I think that they still maybe are not in sight of that, where they think that I'll shut my truck down. It's the broker screwing us. No, it's the spot market. This is how it is. It's never been this good before. Like when we say, I think it's hard to appreciate how good it really was, unless, I'm not saying that new people don't know anything. Don't take it that way. Like, I think it's hard to appreciate how good it really was, unless you went through, you know, some times in the past where spot market rates, you know, $2 a mile was a pretty good rate on the spot market for, you know, for a lot of things. Obviously, different trailers are different, but like, it's a crazy way to do things.
You know,
It's a crazy thing to rely on.
Yeah.
Right. To put 100% of your faith and everything into something as volatile as that.
Yeah.
But Paul,
I was
Dangerfield
add
Trucking,
to that.
thank you for the $50. Appreciate it. Go ahead. You've been around doing that way longer than me.
Well, no, I mean, the thing is that when you take it to its basic form, like I don't have a trucking company, right? I never had a trucking. I never ran a trucking company. I've been in brokering. We did brokering. We had our our own authority. I was working with a guy. He had 6 reefer trucks. He wanted to start his brokerage. This was back in 2008, I guess. And it was the worst time to do it, because all of a sudden they tell us there's a housing market crash. It just tanked the economy, and it was bad, but we decided to stick with it and learn the industry and build relationships through it all, because we figured that things will come up. It wasn't Armageddon, right? So these situations that come up, it's not Armageddon. Things will get better. Things will get worse, right? So, in thinking of things in the most basic, on the most basic level, I look at it as supply and demand, right? And then I look at it from the standpoint of consumers, right? So it's all about the consumer, So when we're moving all this stuff around, it's based upon the consumer supply and demand, right? And that's when we either get busy or we don't have a lot to do, right? And that's pretty, I think that's pretty basic. That's kind of how I look at it. So when I look around and I see what's going on, those are the things that I take into consideration. So when you were talking about the different areas when it's busy, whether it's you have produce season, you've got melon season, and it just kind of travels around the country, in a clockwise, is it, or counterclockwise? I think it's kind of like a counterclockwise direction. You can learn those things and know what's going on in January, right? And if you look back and then you look at today to determine, is this normal? This January, February, March, in terms of the volume level, in terms of rates, this is not normal. You know what I mean? And when I say that, I don't think it's going to become normal. I mean, and even if we stay elevated in regards to the volume, rate wise, that will always change. And I'll tell you why. If you think about it, let's say Apple comes out with this super iPhone, this iPhone, and it's great. And it's been their flagship product for ever since it came out, for the past 10 years or whatever. It's just been an amazing product, right? But there's also competition, right? There's other players that come into the market, right? So that ends up making a difference. And so right now, when we have all these players in the market, or I should say at some point, all of a sudden the rates are high. Everyone wants to get into our market, right? There was all these new people that wanted to get into the market. They think they're going to make a lot of money, and they probably do, but it's only going to be for a time period, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's only going to be for so long. And then at some point it will become oversaturated with carriers. I think that the reason why we have not become oversaturated is because there hasn't been the equipment available. I mean, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong,
Yep.
In the terms of finding equipment. Equipment's out there, but we still have the semiconductor chip problem, right?
Yes.
So we're limited in regards to that. There may be a driver shortage. I don't know. I mean, can we find enough drivers to put in the seats? I don't know, but I do know that as far as developing trucks or producing trucks, that's been a challenge. So I look at it from the most basic perspective. But right now we are at an elevated level,
Yeah. And something too we don't want to miss is we all know that like people like to capitalize on every tragedy or opportunity, right? So
Sure.
we also want to stop and think right now, okay, here's what's going on with fuel, drivers, parts, supplies, trucks, but all down the list. And it's become a crisis situation. People will capitalize on that. People will use it to push their so-called green agenda, their autonomous agenda. In a time of crisis, people will accept it. People will go to you don't want your Cheerios to be $50 a box. Give us a little bit of leeway on this autonomy, on this green energy, on charging stations, on whatever. Let your mind wander, right? So we have to keep an eye on that. Like, what are they doing when you're not? What's this hand doing when this hand's over here doing this, right? You got to watch this hand and prepare for what that's going to bring about. So it might bring about a different scenario in trucking where they push a green agenda, they push an autonomous agenda, they push drivers. We just brought in Wisconsin 10,000 people over from Afghanistan. Do we give a few thousand of them CDLs, right? They will use a crisis to get people to accept things that they would not probably otherwise accept. So we got to watch out for that too. Mm-hmm. And how do we prepare for that? Yeah, go, Greg. I want you to jump in here. I've been stepping all over you.
Oh, I got nothing. I'm just listening. I really appreciate all the things that I've learned from you and some of the other great channels on here. It's just like I had a call last week when I was a company driver last year. I hauled for this rendering plant out here, and they called me, and they can't get coverage from the company I used to work for, and they're asked me if I could come and help them out, and they threw me a rate, and I was making $150 a day last year for them, but now I've got my own authority and everything. I'd looked at this rate and thought, oh wow, look at that, it's so much more. If I hadn't learned a little bit from you and others, now I stopped and I put the pencil on the paper and mapped it all out, and I came back to them and said, no, that sounds great, but we've got to put some kind of fuel surcharge in here because I don't know where this is going, and if it goes too much more, I'm going to be paying you in order to haul this stuff. So
yeah, let me sidebar quick, Your Honor. I grew up on a dairy farm. I am very familiar with rendering plants. I don't know if you could pay me enough money to go to a rendering plant and haul. Oh my God! Have you ever hauled frozen cow hides or unfrozen cow hides?
Yes.
This is all hook and drop though.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Like, I've hauled them in a reefer. I've hauled them on a flatbed. Like, the only way I'll touch them is if they're frozen, and they better be frozen damn solid. Hauled them on a flatbed one time. I had to throw the tarps away. You cannot. You do not. That smell does not go away. They're garbage after that.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
What? I went to a place here locally, and it was cowhide, right? And the smell was unbearable. But like about, I don't know, a week or two later, I was at a McDonald's, and I was working at a McDonald's, right? Free internet. So, but the truck came to pull the oil, out from the bottom. They have all the oil goes down in a tank at the bottom, right? And then a truck comes and sucks it all up. And I was just working and I was like, what is that smell? I said, that smells so familiar. Man, they were pulling it was the smell from the cowhide, you know, smelled just like it. And there on, I stopped eating McDonald's.
Yeah, there's got to be a rendering plant surcharge. Georgia Patriot, $50 for the Make-A-Wish. He says, for a cold bath. Oh, I'm going to take that cold bath. And you guys are going to get to see it. Thank you, Sam. Much appreciated. We'll be doing that on Saturday. Yeah, so did you end up doing it, Greg? How did that turn out?
I'm waiting to hear back on the surcharge.
Okay.
But yeah, is that, you know, I'm go find a day cab and put somebody or a couple guys, you know, to work and do on that. I liked the job when I was doing it last year, but like I said, I got in a position that, hence the name of my channel. I jumped in with both feet, got my authority, grabbed the truck, and out there trucking. So yeah. Mark
says, stop saying that spot market is misunderstood. Well, I think not that has to come across wrong, but like we got right now, I'm talking from the perspective of, okay, last year there was 150 some thousand new authorities. I don't think that all of them understand spot market. Like, I think that, like, if you've been in this a while, you probably do. Like, so it's just understand where we're coming from. Like, not sitting here trashing everybody out. Just like the people that haven't been in this as long, I think this is probably a shock to them. Like, right? It's probably all they've ever known. So it takes some further explanation. So that's kind of what we're talking about, Mark.
Well, you got two right here on the screen with Nick and I.
So okay, you two. Okay, well let's talk directly to you then, with both of you. Okay, Nick, we know you when you started. Greg, when did you kind of come into this?
Well, I went active September 20th, but I didn't haul my first load till November. I was still fumbling around doing all the paperwork and garbage for the government.
Okay.
IFTA and 2290 and all that, and didn't realize that it took such a lead time to get that stuff completed and back. But
yeah, things are strange.
November 1st basically is when I started. So
okay, so question to the both of you. Number one, did you fully understand, I guess, kind of about the spot market? And then two, is this what's like the level of scariness with these things that are happening, right? Like, I don't know how to ask that, but like, what's your anxiety level right now with what's going on, being that you are just that new into this?
Well, I'm not too bad because, like we've been talking, you know, that the conditions that set up the great freight rate 2 months ago are still in place. Okay. You know, this just, it's interesting and don't know where the fuel is going to go. Like I said, I just do what I can to mitigate the loss in the fuel department. But, you know, I got 15 Cascadia and run, you know, 7.5 miles a gallon, even up over, you know, the Blues and Snoqualmie and all that. So I've been doing good. I'm power only. I haul mostly Amazon, probably 90% Amazon. So, you know, their volume has come down since the end of January, but it's still doing okay. So
awesome.
Adam, can I add something to that?
Yeah.
In regards to, okay, like with just kind of hear where you're coming from with the fuel, as you were talking about, you're negotiating, right? With them in regards to the rate, but your concern is the fuel. I guess I'm hearing that you don't want to lock in and with the volatility of the fuel. Is that correct? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, this is a separate deal, but yeah, they wanted to do some contract short haul stuff and at a flat rate. And I was looking on it, pays like $260 a mile, and you know, if I buy a truck and put somebody in it and pay them decent, it's going to cost me at $4.75 a gallon. I worked it up to, you know, I don't know, $2.05 a mile. So yeah, I told them at over $4.75 basis on 4.5 miles a gallon, we'll do a fuel surcharge based on my actual cost, just to just so don't end up losing money on the deal.
Right. Yeah. So are you? I mean, is it? Are you guys able to negotiate, so to speak, cost plus fuel? You know what I mean? So then that fuel can always be flexible. You know what I mean? So it's not where you're locking in because we know, and they know it too. You know, they know that the fuel, what's going on with the fuel, right? And they know what the industry, what's going on in the industry as well, whether it's a shortage of equipment. There's been this pandemic and the issue that's been going on with that. So it's not just that you should be concerned with that. They know what's going on, right? So it's a situation where you can have a conversation about that. You know what I mean? An open conversation. A lot of these contracts that are in place, at least back in my day, so to speak, it was where even if we were talking about developing a contract over a 6-month period, if it came, we got to 3 months and things drastically changed, right? We could still address that, we could still address that, because if I'm doing a great job for them, they want to continue to work with me. But why would they want to work with me if I'm unhappy, so to speak? You know what I mean? If it's not working out, if I'm losing money, if I can't do the job, right? Because what they're going to have to do, they're going to have to find someone else and go through that process again. Now, even if there are tons of people that are waiting in line to take your place, it's still a process that they have to go through. But the point is that a lot of these companies, not all, but they want to be fair in that respect. There's what's called a carrier of choice. I use that term a lot. And
it's real. It's real. It's 100% legit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're coming to the table, you have value. You know what I mean? There's value that you bring to the table, but there's a way to have that conversation. And we talk about that, here at Freight Connect in regards to how to communicate with these shippers, right? But again, in regards to your contract, going back to that, fuel can be a separate line item, where that thing does fluctuate. So that may be something that, you guys have to address. We're not, talking about the line, the line haul, but we're talking about fuel. So has that been a part of your conversation with them in regards to the fuel? And I'm just curious, if it has been, how has that gone? What does that look like?
No,
that conversation.
We haven't gotten that far yet. I just emailed off yesterday that my fuel surcharge thoughts were, so I'm waiting to hear back about that.
Okay. All right. Good. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Have the conversation.
Greg, have you got your hands on a fuel surcharge schedule, or would you like one?
I looked up a couple, but yeah.
Okay, I have one. I tell you what, rather than I could send it to you, or just email. You got my email. I always give a DIY send at Yahoo. Otherwise, I think I'll do a video, because people have been asking about how to come up with your own fuel surcharge schedule. So I'll probably do that, and then you could build your own based on that. It's maybe you're out west. It's not uncommon for people to have different fuel surcharge schedules for different areas of the country.
Right.
Yeah.
A West Coast obviously going to be higher than a Midwest, so you can adjust it. Absolutely. But I missed a couple here. Let me hold 1 second here. Brian Brock, $49.99 super chat. I appreciate that so much. Appreciate that. I missed $10. The cash is king also. Dangerfield Trucking, we got that one. And I'm taking them. I'm writing down the names here. I'm going to add them. The reason I asked everybody to do it through Cash App is then YouTube doesn't keep their 40 or 60%, whatever it is. For this one, I want it to all go to Make-A-Wish.
Nice.
That's what we're trying to do here. But we'll take. I'm still going to pass along the whole 50. I'll eat the other half. Not a big deal.
Nice.
I gotta ask. Who is it here? Mark Ely. He keeps leaving this comment, and I see it everywhere. I want $10 diesel, please. Can I ask why, Mark? Are you just saying that to be funny? Like, I'm starting to think you really actually do want it. Can I get you to elaborate on that? Hell, come on the screen here. Tell us all about it. I know you're killing it on rates, but like $10 fuel has so many. Like, I feel like people are only thinking of these high fuel prices and how it affects them in trucking. $10 fuel is not good for the economy. It is not good for a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be eventually a net break. So okay, so think about this: with high freight rates that they've been for the last how long, they are not 100% responsible for the inflation we're seeing. Like, let me say that right up front. But it doesn't help, right? So, and it took us over the course of a couple years to get this kind of inflation that we've had with the freight rates being what they are. We have seen such a spike in fuel here. There's going to be a lag time before that effect hits the economy.
Yeah.
It happens so fast. What is inflation going to be like in 3 months, 4 months, when things fully hit the market? Like, I think we're going to see some inflation before that, but like, there's a lag time there, right? If you know what I'm saying. Where are we going to be at? Like, that is not good for anybody. And I mean, you're going to make, if you're keeping up to it on freight, you're going to make a lot of money. But the next time you buy a car, a Chevy or a Toyota Camry is going to be $180,000, right? I mean,
it's just going to eat up any wages, any wage increase. I mean, it's just going to contribute to inflation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not,
like people on minimum wage, or even these people that are new to, they wanted the $15 an hour minimum wage. Are you really any better off than you were before you had it? I mean, at this point.
Yeah. Mr. DIY, I'm gonna have to get out of here. I got something I got to take care of. Okay.
Yeah. Before you go, give out your information. Give out your number, your email, your website.
Yeah, I'm at www.fr8connect.com. So that's the website address, and then you can reach me at we'll go with the phone number, I guess, 866-342-0040 extension 109. And last thing is the email address, which is paul.k@fr8connect.com. And man, I really appreciate it. I appreciate all that you do, and I enjoyed being on here. And man, I can't see. I'm on my phone. I see that is there somebody behind you? I can't tell. It's a small screen.
It's Beaker. It's my boy Beaker.
Oh,
from the Muppets.
Okay.
He's terrified.
Oh yeah, that's where I've seen him. That's
fuel
right.
prices.
Okay.
Fuel prices got him scared, man.
All right,
Paul. I'm going to give you this one opportunity, and I know you're above this, right?
Okay.
I know you're better than this, but how about a big fat "I told you so"?
I told I told you so.
do you care to drop an "I told you so"?
All right. Let's see.
I'm just teasing
you.
I'm teasing you.
All right. Thank you for saving me from that.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Hey guys, have a good evening.
Take care.
Yeah, you too, man.
All right.
Mark Ely. Damn right. I want you to come in. Let me drop a link here. All you got to do is click on that link and follow the instructions it's going to give you. I got to know about the $10 per gallon fuel.
Two things. One, I didn't realize reefer was seasonal. I just assumed reefer was food. Everybody eats food
it
24/7.
It is. You always have certain, like, frozen food doesn't really matter. Well, you have frozen vegetables, right? But like, pizzas, cheese, butter, these things move all the time. But when you're talking about like produce, like apples, oranges, lettuce, whatever, watermelons, cherries, all your fruits and vegetables are all seasonal.
And your freeze protect stuff for you guys up there in your part of the country.
Yeah, and then in wintertime, you got a whole lot of things that can't freeze. They have to go on a reefer.
Right.
So a lot of your chemicals.
See, it's like on tanker. We don't have a slow season. It's just perpetually moving because we supply so much stuff for manufacturing. Or for water treatment plants is like a posh way of saying the horrible places. But on top of that as well, I was talking to I've got a friend in Texas who's a fuel hauler, and he was telling me today that a certain client that they supply to via, I think it's like Chevron or is the shipper or something like that, they normally allocate this receiver about 10,000 gallons per day. And for no reason, that shipper now is reducing it down to 6,000 gallons. It's not that they haven't got the product of the diesel or the petrol, but it's the way of gouging the prices.
Cash, you're back feeding really bad. Turn your YouTube app off.
What's going on?
Sorry about that. Okay.
There's cash.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, it's just that the way that I think it's Chevron that is supplying this. My friend who's a hauler for them, he's a contractor, and he's taken it to a big retailer. But instead of allowing them 10,000 gallons a day, they're cutting it down to 6,000 gallons a day, just to keep the prices up, and if not, go up further.
Cash, you're still back feeding.
All right. Yeah,
You got your YouTube app open?
No, everything's off. Only thing's open this. So hang on.
Yeah. Okay, Truck Diver says NASDAQ is showing a 77-cent drop tonight in fuel. That's good. I saw last night or earlier they were saying a 45-cent increase. So it went from a 45-cent increase to a 77-cent drop. We'll take it. Hell, we'll take it.
Yesterday it was a 12% decrease in the oil futures, but then today it's gone back up again, about 6%.
Yeah, it's funny how it goes down a lot slower than it goes up, right?
Yeah.
So good. I guess what we said was probably right then. Hang in there. What goes up fast typically doesn't last. I don't think we've seen the end of it.
Nor do I.
Because, I mean, what's going on over, across the pond right now is, I mean, I don't even care to talk about it anymore because I hear so many different stories from so many different places. I couldn't tell the truth probably on that if it bit me in the ass anymore. There's so much propaganda going on it. Like somebody I'm very close to, I have a family member that works with somebody that their family is in Russia, so we hear that side of it and what they're being told. And it's completely different from, other sides. I have no freaking idea. All I know is it's a little odd. Let's bring Cash back in here, see if we can do this again. You there now?
Yeah.
Okay. We just chilling and listening, or you got something against Paul?
Somebody's trying to come in. It's just like spinning and spinning.
That's Mark Ely. We're trying to get him in here.
Oh,
Mark, yeah, he's somewhere between California and Oregon. That's not good service over there.
I wonder if, like, Nomadic Brit doesn't see the hot spots in the tanker market because he's on the contract. Like, remember last year when they had all the rush to get the fuel moved?
We don't touch fuel. That's the only thing that we don't touch is fuel. We are chemical and everything except diesel or gasoline.
But you got to remember, it still affects you because it pulls other tankers away from the market.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe, I mean, they're dead. Obviously different trailers. You don't haul fuel in a food grade trailer and vice versa, but the power units still move.
Yeah, I mean, this just been. Last year was the best year I've ever had. And this year, even though we're having crazy fuel prices, we've still got just abnormal rates. These rates now are the highest rates I've ever seen in all the years I've been with Schneider. I don't know. It's just a peculiar situation we're in. That's all I can say. I mean, I know that I'm talking, like I said, that's why I asked about spot markets. And a lot of spot market people are saying that there's this fluctuation of rates, but ours has stayed steady, if not slightly going up and up and up still.
Yeah. I gotta text my wife quick.
Adam, but you were correct about that because it's not necessarily the fuel trailers that pull it away, but there's this is something I actually know more about than reefer because I did hazmat tanker for 4 years.
Chemical.
But you got in one refinery you're producing LPG gas, you're producing gasoline, diesel. You've got all of the different lubricants that come out of there, and then you've got all the byproducts, the sulfuric acid that comes out of there that gets shipped out. I mean, we used to have to fight on the scale with the sulfuric acid guys. They'd come whipping in there from a different gate than the one we came in, and they'd be trying to beat us onto the scale and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely as production in that industry goes up, the kind of multi-use tankers get those placards get flipped to different products and they start running sulfuric and stuff.
In this industry, you don't do one thing without affecting another. I mean, look in the last year, how many people went from being company driver or leased to a carrier to being independent with their own authority. We didn't really add any capacity to market. You just move drivers around, right? You're just moving drivers around, and that's kind of a thing too. Sometimes you just move trucks around. You know, there's only so much.
Supposedly, a lot of tanker drivers have been moving over to van and stuff because they've seen that you can earn X amount of rates on van, but it hasn't changed the only thing that's changed in my dynamic is I used to do like a lot of local stuff because it was the more you're doing, the more you're earning. The more you're getting out of that truck rather than drop and hook. Drop and hook doesn't work with tanker because there's no money in it, or there wasn't. But I've changed it now. I used to be out for 2 weeks. Now I'm out for 4 weeks. I used to do like 300 or 400 mile runs. Now I do 800 mile runs. I never would touch polymer. A lot of my loads is polymer. I've just adapted to where the money's is. You know, I've just where I can see higher rates. That's where I've moved the way I run. And it's working. And like I say, thank goodness, because obviously like the fuel is, even with our discount, is still crazy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
I've...
Oh, Mark, I'll drop that link for Mark again. Mark Ely's a long time participating in the channel, and I got to know about his $10 a gallon fuel.
Everybody does.
And we're gonna Cash. We got to get it out of him where he's working, so we can go get a piece of that freight.
Right.
Yeah. If you had more runs over there.
Thank you.
Yeah, having a fuel efficient operation, you don't mind high prices, but if the rates don't keep going.
Anybody know what this is right here?
It's a Cash cup.
Trucker News.
This is a Trucker News coffee mug.
Yeah.
Oh, my green screen's gonna get it. It's green.
Yeah.
They can go to the merch team and look at it if they want to.
My wife brought me some water in my Trucker News coffee mug. Get you some.
Yeah, I had me some keto meatloaf earlier. Everybody don't know Kelly's Kitchen. Check it out.
Yeah. Oh, we got to win. Hold on.
Holy mackerel, guys, what's going on?
He's on.
You gotta turn off your YouTube app though.
Yeah.
Where do I turn that off, guys?
You're in StreamYard. Just close out your YouTube app.
Holy mackerel, guys, what's going on?
You gotta turn off your YouTube. If you're on your phone, just go on the app and swipe up to make it go away. You're in StreamYard. I'm gonna mute you for just a second while you do that.
Yeah. He's worse than me.
Okay, how's this? I think you got it, Mark. I think you got it. We good.
That.
So, what's going on, everybody? Such an honor to meet you all.
Well,
Cash, I want to say thank you, DY. You guys made me a lot of money. A lot.
Amen to that.
Well, hey, I'm just saying, you know, like, you know, I take checks. He takes checks. You know, how about we'll settle for this? Tell us where you get that freight.
Well,
yeah.
I'll tell you what, guys. Cash, you seen my pay stubs. I sent them to you. And you know that I don't BS. I just rather tell everybody what I do. So when I started out, I took Cash's advice on his dollar. He said, hey, you know, I try to make sure there's $1 there. His profit was going to be $1. So I took that. I went into a lease purchase with no money down. This is no BS. I had 2 credit cards. Within 1 month, I had almost $26,000 in my account of profit. I got a brand new freight line in 2021, and it's just unbelievable. My best month, in 90 days, I put up $100,000 in my account in 90 days.
Wow.
So, but then again, I live on the road sometimes, and I sacrifice a lot. Like I'll watch the load board, and I listen to everybody talk, and I'll get into a certain area, Pennsylvania. I'll just go up there, and I'll do short ball freight. If it's paying me $3,300 to move 160 miles, well, that's more than a day's pay. So I go do it.
That's, you know, for the longest time, that was like a week's pay. Like if you were leased onto a mega carrier, like that would be a week's pay. I mean, for, you know, not of course in the last couple of years, but you know, years ago. But okay, so you're pushing hard for $10 a gallon. What's up with that?
Absolutely. All right, I got a little method to my madness.
I gotta hear it.
Thinking. So the way I see it right now, we all agree there's not a lot of trucks out here.
Right.
So the bottom guys right now that are maxed out to the hills, their equipment and everything's going to go under. Even the big mega carriers, the one that are paying 70 cents a mile for a company driver, I see their well, I don't know their exact contract rate, but I do pull contract rate, and I pull broker freight, so I kind of roughly know what they're getting. So the fuel surcharge is going to have to add off, but a lot of guys, they're going to go under, and it ain't going to work out. And
So
it's going to be better rates in the end. I want the rates to go with it, and I want all those guys to fail and fall off.
Your strategy then could be described as outlast the other guy.
Correct.
No, I don't know. I'm not joking. I actually that's a viable strategy, and that's what it could come to, right? Like that's what 2020 was. Man, I held on by it was before this spike, right? I'm talking about quarantine 2020, when you went on a load board and you'd see 6 loads. It was outlast the other guy, is what it was, and those who made it through came out pretty well off for it. So I'm not knocking that. Not at all.
I hope that I don't come across as pompous or not. Look, I don't know a lot of things, and I learned a lot from you guys. There's one thing I do know is truck driving. I've been in trucks all my life, and 30 years of doing this, and I've only been an owner-operator. I just passed my 1 year on March 3rd. So I crunched all my numbers, and I just came in just below $400,000 in 1 year.
Damn. Can I ask you a question?
That's unbelievable.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
When you go home, or in the past, when you go home, do you park your car in the yard?
Park my car in Harvard Yard, buddy. I'm Newburyport, Massachusetts, all the way.
That's what I thought.
Tell you what,
that's what I thought.
16 years living in Mexico, you figure I'd lose the accent, but it didn't happen.
No, I pick up on little things like that. I knew right away. This is a Boston fella right here. Well, congratulations, man. It's we talk all the time. Like, we're gonna hire a private detective to follow you around and see where you're getting that $1,500 for a 6-mile load, and where you're getting that $3,300 for a 100-mile load.
Hey, Cash, did you see that one I sent you last week for 8320 or 8220 on 444 miles?
What?
Chicago to Springfield. I sent it to Cash. I said, "Who's your daddy?" Which is crazy. I have a friend who works where I work, and I couldn't get there in time. I called him up. I'm like, "Dude, I got an $8,000 load. I can't pick it up. Would you like it?" And he jumped right on it.
Yeah.
So it worked out.
Good for you, man. Good. Well, Jackknife TV popped in here. You look like you're at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it going? I know it's got you down a little bit. I hope you didn't take my comment wrong that I left on your video. I didn't mean it that way. You know that, right?
Like what? What do you mean?
Oh, I said that people weren't ready to listen. About getting, trying to get their own freight, and they weren't ready to listen. That that necessarily.
I'll be.
Rates
okay.
weren't tied to fuel necessarily, and this and that. But
I got a few connections, at least with some brokers. Not many though, but
good.
So I'm not really worried about it. At least not right yet. So
no. Cool.
But I know plenty of people are. It's the world on Facebook. So
see, Facebook, man, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because anybody can get on it. You don't have to. There's no qualification. Anybody can do this too. Obviously, they let me do it, so they let anybody do it. But
I'm just on rates and lanes, just on there reading the comments. Guys trying to add. They want another $2 a mile for rates and everything, and it's just not going to happen.
But do you kind of feel like some of them feel like they're entitled to it?
No, that's what it's sounding like now. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm entitled. Like, it's my money. You have my money. Why it's you're keeping it. That's kind of what I get out of it sometimes. It's like, well, you gotta. It's not just yours. You have to. You do something for that. Oh, Kelly, yeah, she said drop a link. We're also talking about Make-A-Wish Foundation here, folks, tonight. If you're watching, doing the polar plunge this weekend. If you care to make a donation to the Make-A-Wish, do it through the Cash App. It's on my screen here. $DIY Semi on the Cash App, and we'll just verify everything went to them, and I'm going to live stream it Saturday. You can watch this big dummy drop into a ice cold swimming pool, and hopefully bring himself out under his own power. Paramedics will be there. I'm thinking we need to call a heavy wrecker too, because I tell you what, if I go down, I don't know who's pulling my ass out of that pool.
God, bugger that for a game of soul. Just jumping in there, stuff that.
We need a rotator on standby. I don't care if it's $400 an hour.
Oh, truth. Couldn't do it.
You see that rate I posted?
Oh, there he is. He's right in the middle of this Brady Bunch scenario.
Yeah, I'm the maid of the Brady Bunch. What was her name? Alice?
Alice?
Yeah, I'm Alice.
Are you the pivot man in this circle thingy?
Easy now.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't need to get taken off of YouTube. Also,
Cash has been quiet for a few days. You've been quiet for a few days, Cash. Normally,
you want to tell everybody what's going on? You're a hotel review channel now.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah. We're just chilling at the house. I put out a video. I don't know. I think I got one coming out tomorrow. But yeah, taking a little break, putting out 5 videos a day. I'm no Asian Ma. I'll just go ahead and tell you that right now.
You don't look like him.
Oh,
that's not a knock on anybody.
Shots fired.
He's a handsome man. No, he wouldn't take it that way.
I know. I'm just pulling your leg.
Am I wearing a Speedo? I've been told I cannot wear a banana hammock. So I'm gonna.
Good grief!
I'm gonna wear some kind of shorts. I might even wear shoes because you got to walk across the ground to get to. I'm not about walking across frozen ground with wet feet. That can't be fun. So I'm gonna wear some old shoes. I'm gonna wear some shorts, and I think I'll wear my one DIY shirt that my wife made me, just to for whatever reason. I'm a little scared people are gonna body shame me when I get wet and that shirt sticks to me. Shows a nice set of double D's or something.
Oh, it's true.
I don't know if I need that, but
you need to hold the Cash's Network cup as well when you jump in, just so you can keep it.
I'll wear this hoodie.
Yeah.
Make sure you get a good pose in for the thumbnail.
Cash is
straight out of the water.
I'm thinking about getting some water wings and putting them on.
That'd be good.
Or like one of those inflatable rubber duckies you put around your waist.
Cash's thumbnails out. I say to many people, I've never seen somebody put so much effort into thumbnails that Cash does.
Oh, he whips them out quick.
Yeah, those take like 10 seconds.
You should honestly see the ones that do not make the video.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Collage. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're probably X-rated or something. So,
we have a lot of fun. Now I lost my place. Got me in a Speedo and I'm shot.
Yeah, I'll say you're
Where do we go from there?
Speedos and stuff. I don't know. That's going downhill a bit.
But I appreciate you giving me a chance to jump on and for giving me your input on. And feel free, honestly, to reach out anytime with any of your nuggets of wisdom, because I'm not proud to take advice from you, for sure.
Yeah, it's all mostly nonsense.
Yeah, and thank goodness you had a shave, Nick. You look a lot more, look about 10 years old now, mate.
A little better, yeah. And hey, I want to say hi to Cash, because I've been watching you for a while and we haven't seen each other on a live. So what's up?
Right. Later.
All right, see you guys. Got to go check in at Lineage. Should have fun.
Oh, you're gonna have them Lineage logistics blues.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck. Hope you pack the lunch.
Catch you another day. All right. Bye.
Oh, I'm not Alice anymore.
Oh, you look a little bit like her. There, was that bad too?
I'm surprised freight trucking hasn't been there tonight, so you two could just tear into it.
He was here. He got bounced.
Oh.
with perfect timing, I might add.
He stepped in a bear trap.
Yeah.
I think it's great when you do that because he starts talking and suddenly he's gone.
Oh, go back and watch the first 5 minutes.
I'll have to, yeah, actually.
No, it's one of my favorite pastimes now.
I can imagine.
Yeah, you two are good at it too. And he opens the door, lets you right in too. It's great.
Oh, he opens the door and says, "Come on in. Here it is. Kick me."
He's so innocent the way he gets in there. He's so polite, and then boom, gone.
He was over. He's on vacation now. He was over to drop his truck off, and we went out to dinner and for some festive activities. And I looked at his wife and I says, "You ever see Bambi?" I said, "He's just like a little Bambi out on a frozen lake." Just too easy.
It's always weird though when Scott says that he's been like doing this for like 20 or he doesn't look old enough to be like in the length of time that he says he's been in.
Yeah,
he's been like driving like 20 odd years, he says, or 30 years, and you think you don't look old enough.
Yeah, no, he's on vacation with his family right now. I'd much rather have him doing that than spending time on YouTube. You don't get a lot of time to do that, so but so you still say where you're leased on to, right, Britt? It's okay still?
Yeah, I'm leased on with Schneider. I mean, the weirdest couple of things the last couple of messages that have come out from Schneider. Now, I've been with Schneider nearly 7 years. 6 years as a company driver, the rest of the time as a contractor. Now, in the last probably 72 hours, there's been a message come out to say there's obviously an awful lot of contractors quibbling about the price of fuel to them, saying that they're probably not giving us enough discount and whatever. Schneider don't drill oil. I don't know if a lot of these contractors realize, so they can't control the oil market. So I've never seen a note like that in 7 years for them to come out and justify that the discount they give us. But also another thing, I went to get some oil filters the other day from our Atlanta OC. Until further notice, Schneider cannot supply any contractor now with parts in any way or form.
Why is that? The liability thing?
They've got to look after company drivers. They're running out of parts. They can't get parts.
Oh, wow. Oh, speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Fate Trucking just sent $200 for me to go jump in an icy bath.
Right on.
Thank you. So you're over the 1,000 now, right?
Yeah, we're at let's see where we're at here.
Is Snyder still doing lease purchases?
$1,215.
The lease purchase at the moment is that they can't get trucks till 2023. The only trucks that they can offer are the trucks coming back from the leasers that are handing their trucks in.
So they're still doing it. They didn't suspend it yet, right?
No, they're just, but they don't know. They can't tell you when they can get you a truck.
Because I know Prime suspended their lease purchases, and I heard that some other big mega carrier did too.
Whoever thought Prime would run out of trucks before they ran out of drivers?
To be honest, I don't think it's that they're running out of trucks. I think that they think that they might not be able to keep the lease purchases happy with the fuel prices.
Oh, and yeah,
that's what I think it is.
Because they own a Freightliner dealer.
Yeah, I don't think there's not enough money to go around, is what I think it might be. You know what I mean?
But Prime are now saying though that the contract prices that were offered from like Freightliner to Prime, hypothetically speaking, it was like about 180 grand. They're now adding a 20% surcharge to get the prices up to like 220,000. That's how Freightliner. I think it's Freightliner, and obviously Kenworth is going to follow up. No, Peterbilt rather. They're just adding this new surcharge in now to push the trucks prices higher and higher.
Yeah, Kenworth does have a surcharge on a new truck order now. That just recently.
Yeah, it's either that or they cancel the order.
Because Prime said they were getting no more lease purchases.
Right. But the actual ones that any ones that come into Prime, which is 2023, they've got this new surcharge. So it doesn't matter that the Prime has bought them at say 200. They've got this 25% surcharge now going on those trucks.
I wonder if that's going to leave a bad taste in a few carriers' mouths. Come time when all this calms down.
You would think that these megas would have a certain amount of. I know a while back that Schneider, the last big order they had in was like 1,500 trucks with Freightliner. And they had all these older trucks that Freightliner bought back to keep that contract rolling over. So I don't know. It must be getting very messy, this whole interaction between megas and the manufacturers.
Long-standing relationships are being destroyed right now, and I've
Yeah,
been firsthand witness to this. One of the trailer dealers that I work with, several states away, says this company we've been working with for 40 years, and every week they call up and want more money for their trades. And then, we every time we agree to it and put it in writing, it's not good enough the next week. He's like, we don't do this to you when, the shoe's on the other foot. And they're like, we don't care. We'll send them to auction. They're like, well, we have a contract for every new trailer we sell you. You give us this, so many trades for this many new trailers. They're like, we don't care. And he's like, well, I tell you what, when this is done, like,
right,
we're done probably too. But it's a very big company. I'm like, I'd rather work with somebody for 50 years and, trust them. And that's apparently all that's out the window right now. Some people are still doing it that way, but there's some long-standing relationships are just being decimated.
A lot of bridges being burned.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just want to say I got my lease purchase at $678 a week out the door.
Nice.
I don't know what they're going for now, but I know it's over 1,000.
Yeah, for used ones. I know that at Schneider we've got on bulk. I can't speak for van. On bulk, we've got like 20. What was they telling me the other day? Schneider Finance was telling me the other day it was like 2018s and 2019s, and they were like, with the MMA, which is the maintenance account that you have to pay into bi-weekly, they were still at like $1,100 a week for a used truck with like 250,000 miles on it.
Gee.
A lot of the newer trucks are running Lease-purchase are running right at either like $1,200 to $1,500 a week right now, from what I've been hearing.
Yeah, which is
and some of them aren't even purchases. They won't even let you purchase them now. A lot of them are just leases.
Right. I mean, this was a lease purchase. I did this when I joined Schneider. As a foreigner coming to this country, you have no credit rating or anything. You've got to start from ground zero. And now I did 6 months as a company driver with these guys, and then I went over to the contract side. And yes, it was a no payment down, and people might frown on lease purchase, but it depends on your situation. Now, if you've got the ethic and the willpower, you can make it work. And it worked for me. I paid the truck off. I paid this off in October 2020.
Oh God!
And oh my God,
he can't wear a
girly. He's got a girly hat on. Look at him.
It's too bright, Adam. Turn down the brightness.
No, I can see it. He looks like a girl on it. Just kick him out. He's
are you
got
at
no
the
clothes on? What the heck's that all about? He's got no clothes on.
Are you at the gay 90s again?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
He's at the manhole.
Yeah.
We're having a good time tonight.
I bet you are.
We were.
Yeah, looks like it.
Let's.
Oh my
I'm
God,
unsubscribing from you because of this.
As if you were already subscribed in the first place.
I
just wanted to say, don't push me in. Are you doing the polar plunge?
Yes, I am.
I bet your boyfriend loves that hat, doesn't he?
As much as he loves the beard. Yes, I am.
Hey, there's only two things that come from Texas: steers and queers.
Yeah,
and I'm definitely a steer.
That's what my missus says. She's American, and that's what.
Well, this is great for the channel. I just lost like 20 viewers.
I'll get out. I just wanted to say hi one more time.
No, I am doing.
Take care.
I am doing the polar plunge. Thanks for the donation. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I kind of got a little bit of an insight the other night on what you guys are doing there, and it's a really good cause.
Just too damn easy.
Oh, wicked.
It's America's favorite pastime.
Thanks for stopping by, Scott.
Yeah.
See, it's that bit that just cracks me up. He starts talking and like
You always gotta wait till he's about to say something he really believes.
Uh-huh.
Really believes he's gonna get it out.
I know.
You think he learned when you ask him a serious question what's coming?
Oh, poor lad. He's tried his best. God
It's all right.
dang.
He'll try again.
Well,
It's like it's almost to the point now where it's like the Peanuts, where Lucy wants Linus to kick the football. She just keeps pulling it away. Oh, that's fun.
Anyway,
But forgot what we were talking about.
What were we I know.
All right, guys, I'm gonna bounce out of here. Nice meeting you all. I gotta get up in the morning. I'm heading on home. So.
All right. Well, hey, you have a good
all,
home.
Hey, Mark.
I want to say thank you for everybody. Appreciate you all.
We thank you.
Bye, guys.
Hey, Mark.
See ya.
Bye. Yeah, that was it. Lease purchase. Lease purchase does work.
Oh yeah.
That was my argument. Is that lease purchase? I see so many people run it down. It just depends at the end of the day on your situation of what you need to do and how you make it work. You know, there's different situations. So
it's the details. There's a lot that goes with it.
The details, yeah. Make sure you can see your rate confirmations. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure you can dispatch yourself too. Yeah.
Right.
I know. I mean, I've got a couple of drivers. Well, not me personally, but Schneider's got a couple of drivers at the moment that Schneider tend to put new contractors coming in. Schneider puts them on to me to help them, to get them to understand how we run and how we do things, and because they use my ability of what they're saying that, hold on a minute, you can do what this guy does. Well, it's not quite the same. I've got a work ethic that I just run and I don't stop. I'm perpetually moving. When I come out here, I work every day. I work an 8.5-hour day, so I'm perpetually moving. I don't sit because I'm not out here to just watch the daisies grow, you know. But trying to explain that to some of these new starts, there was one. I've got 2 blokes and 1 woman I'm educating. The woman, she had only been doing this like a week, and she wanted to go home for a few days to watch the kid do the softball and stuff out, which I get it, but I don't get it. You know, if you're going to jump straight into this, you've got to realize that you got to run, because once those lease payments come out, they are relentless. They're coming out every week, whether you like it or not. And that's where some of these people get buried under. They don't put money aside. They don't do anything. They just get dragged under. And
look at this.
Well, they're also told they're going to make more than they really are too. So,
Paul.
Yeah, two of them I spoke to prior to this, and I said to them, like, I won't sugarcoat anything. I told them the way it is. I said, I don't care what Schneider has told you. This is the way it is. You know, before you sign that dotted line. Oh yeah, you know, I know. You know, they just say yep, but I don't know. This woman is struggling a bit. The blokes seem okay, but I don't know. You got to run.
Yeah. Paul just dropped $100 on us for to make a wish. Thank you, Paul. That's awfully nice of you.
Plunge.
Oh, it's
Anyway.
also the redneck polar plunge. When you see the video, you'll figure out why. Makeshift hot tub, you know, all kinds of different. A cattle stock tank for the beer cooler.
Yeah.
So.
But Jen, I got to go because I've got an early start in the morning, and I didn't realize you'd be interested. But I just wanted to pop in because I saw Nick and BT was in there as well.
Who's BT?
BT Truck, and he was another one of the great freight race guys. He was in your chat earlier on. I thought he was going to come in as well, because I said to him, I rang Nick because you said for Nick to come in. I rang Nick and he said, oh, I'm having a problem with my headphones. I said, look, you know, and he said, oh, I'm going to put these earbuds in and stuff like that. So I came back in, and then I quickly text BT, who was in the chat, to say, look, come on in as well. But he obviously was jumped. But BT is from California as well. But
yeah, he did a good video about the broker he had the other day. I guess had a problem with broker. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, BT is. Okay. I mean, he's getting hammered, obviously, by like the fuel rates. I mean, if you're in California, it's got to be awful because, by all accounts, the fuel rates are sky high, and the, you know, again, I'm not on the spot market, but they're saying that on the spot market, the rates were coming down.
The rates are fluctuating. Yeah. I just posted a load going from New Jersey to Washington,
Wisconsin?
they only wanted 1,400. Yeah, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
They only wanted $1,400 for it.
Yeah.
Here they're talking about $800 to $1,000 in fuel, probably.
Mhm.
Well, it's 1,000 miles.
I actually
$1,400.
called that. That's an actual real load.
Was that
And
Hickory? Was that
no, it was Circle.
Oh.
And they wouldn't budge on it either. They said to the customer that's all they have in it. I was like,
they're full of it. But they'll cover it.
oh, probably someone will take it. I don't know who, but somebody probably will.
That's what I
Somebody will
think is
click
going
and
to
go.
happen. A lot of the brokers,
It was
you know,
clear- it was-
again,
it
I'm
was
not
a
on it. I
clear
don't understand
case,
how the brokers work, but I'm sure the brokers will dig themselves under a bit more because they know that somebody's going to take it because somebody will get desperate because they want to pay that week's money on their truck and stuff like that. And that's when you start seeing desperation start driving it down.
There's some of these guys actually have $5,000 a month truck bills. They went out and bought these $250,000 trucks.
That's it. And those are the guys that are going to force things down.
That's how they'll test the market. I mean, they'll post these loads and see if people take them, and then they're like, "Hey, now we can cover for this." You know.
Yeah.
Our,
went up,
our shippers wanting things down too. You're damn right they do. Like,
well, they got increased costs now too with the fuel prices. They got to heat buildings. They got the
they're in a
electricity.
squeeze. They're in a squeeze. Like we said from the beginning, like when people start losing their ability to pay, and you know, we think these corporations have infinite money. Well, they don't either. You know, they get in a squeeze too, and then at a certain point, well, they don't pay either. No,
There's one thing they can't stop paying, and that's their investors.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they damn sure better not stop paying me.
Those dividends.
That's the key. You got to get them from both sides. So if one side goes down, you still got them right at this end right here, and you squeeze them a little harder over here.
But anyway, you
Can
you
I
gentlemen
request rate cons in Bitcoin?
But no, but I've got to go because you gentlemen stay safe though, and keep being horrible to freight trucking. That's good to see. So, but everybody stay safe and make as much money as you can in this climate.
You too.
So
He's old lady probably wanted to get off the phone anyway.
All right, bye.
Yeah. You said Bitcoin? What about that, Cash?
I was asking, is it a good time to ask for your rate con in Bitcoin?
You know, it's interesting you say that because I got an email just before Christmas from these younger people. They're right here in Wisconsin, and they were coming up with a crypto for just trucking in the supply chain. They wanted to know if I wanted in on it and promote it and stuff. I got to thinking, and I said, well, what do you see as the benefit? They're like, well, it'll increase transparency. I'm like, explain that to me. You know, talk to me like I'm a dummy. Well, it'll allow this person to see this and that, and I'm like, no, it's not good.
What's the value going to be based off of?
They couldn't explain it to me. I'm like, I'm really sorry, but I can't. This might be the next great thing, but I said I'm really not interested. Like, I don't understand what you're trying to do. How does it increasing the transparency? What you're trying to do doesn't do anybody any good at this point.
So you're saying I should get that in Shiba coin?
No.
Emu.
Please don't. But yeah, I didn't. I think they were just caught up and they had to make a crypto, and this was the industry to do it in.
Yeah.
I calmed down on my stock buying. It's a little too volatile right now.
Yeah, I'm building cash.
It's
actually, I'll be told I took on a little bit of debt here lately, and that's priority number one right now is to pay that off or pay it down.
You didn't take on debt. You took on an investment.
Still debt. I tell you what, when you do that and the next day you wake up to the news that was on TV, yeah, it's a little scary. I'm not gonna lie to you. But no, it's manageable. It's manageable.
Hey. They got to put the body somewhere.
Exactly.
That's right down the road for me when COVID happened. They were sticking them in reefer units.
There goes the monetization. There it goes.
Huh?
You know what? Don't every time.
It.
Yeah. We'll snip that out. Whenever somebody says the C word, you get demonetized. But yeah, exactly. Shannon Thomas, transparency of what? It's only still as transparent as people show the information. So, and transparency is not the problem in our business right now. I mean,
do you regret taking my advice on those trailers?
I'm not gonna lie, there probably was a little bit there where I did, but I think the only mistake I made is I bought one too many. I bought one more than I really actually need. I mean, I could sell one.
Flip it.
I've considered that, and I might. I don't
You
know.
might need it for parts, though. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, people like to smash things up. You know, I might I might just need it for that. But I've considered selling. I can get more as they come in, so I don't know.
I had a broker call me up a few days ago asking for keep from freezing storage, $1,500 a day.
Are you kidding?
No.
You know, that's a thought. Maybe I should rent it out.
Yeah,
there's money in that.
I was going to take the week off and just give them trail to use.
It's pure profit. They got to pay the reefer fuel. I mean, obviously there's wear and tear on your equipment, but keep from freeze is start and stop all day long.
Yep.
Hell, $1,500 a day
with energy drinks.
Everything's continuous now, though.
Yeah, you notice that they want everything continuous. Tell you what, these fuel prices, everything's starting to stop.
I got candy. They didn't care what I stuck it on.
Yeah.
They said as long as it just didn't get too hot. I said, all right. Oh.
Wow. See a credit card that pays its rewards in Bitcoin? Huh. Kent, Ohio.
They push that on every time I'm online. I get an ad for that. The Bitcoin rewards credit card.
Oh, the metal card, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know how much that costs to get that card? It is ridiculous amount of money to get that card.
I'm almost debt free. I could care less about that card.
Oh, Paul says cash is king. All right. I'm sorry, people. I've been just ignoring the chat all night because
I'm gonna change my name to Bitcoin is king.
How about
get more
Bitcoin is
views.
cash? Cash is Bitcoin. That'll ruffle some people. That'll get them all worked up. I come across this guy on YouTube, and I've seen him I've never got into his stuff because he's so abrasive. This Dan Pena. You ever seen any? He's a billionaire, and he gives these seminars, and he's just so abrasive. He's hard to listen to, but he's got a pretty unique view on crypto. He's blaming it all on the Russians, saying that they invented it to collapse our economy, to get us all wrapped up in it, and then to collapse our economy. I don't know if I believe that, but
I think we do enough of that on our own.
Yeah. I don't think we need. Yeah.
Just
they don't need Bitcoin to do it. They do it through oil.
They're still renting. They're still what? They're still making a bunch of blank checks. They're sending out to everybody right now. Oh.
Really?
They just gave Ukraine $2 billion.
Oh yeah. I thought you meant like another round of checks for, hand out money. God forbid any of it goes to us.
I think there's supposed to be another one of those too, like $1,600.
Wow. Thank you. We got to refill that Trucker News coffee mug.
Still available in the merch store.
This hoodie is warm, by the way. I'm like sweating, and I would take it off, but I forgot to put the shirt on underneath it. But if you're looking for a warm hoodie, this is it right here. Cash is King Trucking on YouTube. It says #DamnItBoy on the back.
Very true.
Sterling's leaving, and he didn't even come in and say hi.
I want to get a Scallywag shirt. Did you get that email, Cash?
Ooh.
That'll be up by midnight tonight, promise.
All right.
I'm working on it right now.
Cool.
When are we all going to get the emails if fuel went up another like 50 cents?
Supposedly it's going down 77 cents now. This morning I was told it's going up 45 cents now.
I think the price of crude is gonna go down, but I think for it to actually adjust the market, I think it ain't gonna go nowhere.
Supposedly, it went down to 105 today. Crude did. That's what I was told, but I don't know.
The other day, that billionaire I was talking about Bitcoin on one of those other YouTube channels. His name was Michael Saylor or something like that. Michael Sayer or something.
Okay.
It was pretty interesting. It was on I don't know, some podcast I was listening to, but that's I couldn't remember that guy's name. But
come on, Sterling, just for a minute.
Pretty.
Come on in for a minute. Say hi. Say what's up.
Say hi to the kids.
Yeah, put the kids to bed. Yeah, that Dan Pena, he loves to tell you how dumb you are, but whatever. I get it.
I got to start me a propaganda channel. Man, those things take off.
I already got one. It's called DIY Semi Trucking and More. It's where I try to convince people to send me that Make-A-Wish exists and send me money, and then I just make off with it.
There's a channel called CNN. They're hiring probably. Yeah.
Good one.
You know, I got a buddy that speaks Russian, Ukrainian, and English, and he says he watches the news from all three countries, and he said all three of them will tell you a different story about this war every morning.
I bet.
Yeah.
Like, it's just propaganda from three different directions.
Yeah, I said that to my wife today. I says, I'm not saying like we are or anything, but have you ever thought about the possibility that like we're wrong? Like
I was gonna say we kind of lost our credibility in the last couple of years.
That and that like we're the ones being
worldwide
propagandized. Yeah.
The guy that I know that speaks all three languages, he says we're getting a weird story about this war. Like you can definitely tell there's some undertones that are trying to set some things up. So I don't know. Check out my propaganda channel. I'll tell you more about it.
There was a time when you were an American, you said anything overseas, that was automatically believed, and pretty much taken rock hard.
Mark Cerrone, I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding. Mark, thanks again, man. This says I'll hunt you like a deer if the kids don't get that money. No, man, they're getting it. I guarantee you. Hey, what is that you always tell me about karma, Cash? How does the saying go? Tell me.
Karma's only a bitch if you are.
That's right.
Hey, it's all right. DIY is not a politician. Last time I checked, so they'll get the money.
I don't need that kind of bad karma on me. It ain't worth. Right now at the moment, 1,200. Well, let me add it here. Let me do a quick because some people sent some through super chats, and I'm gonna add that in. I'm just gonna eat the other half. Or 12.15 on here. My wife 150. She got as a donation. We got 50 from Dangerfield. We got 50 from Brian Brock, and we got 100 from Paul. We're at 1565, so we're definitely up over that 1,000. We're gonna kick in that extra 1,000, so that's over $2,500.
Wow!
Thank you. That's gonna make some kids' dream go a long way. Yeah, I tell you what. That family we know that did that, they got their wish last year, and they took them to Disney. They put them in these cool houses down. They put you in a house, not in like a hotel. They got this little town of houses. They put you in there. It was, if it had to be your wish, they'll make it come true. That's pretty neat.
Cool deal. Well, hey, you guys, I'm going to bounce out of here. Great to be on, though. Thank you for having me. Good to meet everybody.
Do it anytime.
All right.
I guess I'm at the power hour.
Hey, I got a favor to ask all you guys with YouTube channels, or if you're on Facebook, I'm going to put out a video tomorrow. It would be great. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could share it out. It's about the Make-A-Wish thing, and you can meet the people that are running it, see what we're doing. And I just appreciate it if you just share it on social media. It's none of it. It's all for charity. So, if you don't want to donate, that's cool. Maybe somebody else would jump in and would just get it out to as many people as we can. I appreciate that. And there it goes. And then there was 3.
And there was 3.
But yeah, I'm here, voluntarily putting myself in the bread line before I'm forced into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm boycotting it. I'm taking the week off. Like it's.
So what are you boycotting? Like literally the best year trucking has ever seen last year? Is that what you're protesting?
I'm protesting this temporary, unexpected change in fuel prices. I want them to go back down to $1.88 a gallon. And what else do I need? I'm like a hostage, I'm like I got the gun to somebody's head here. Let me
just read the script.
Hey, I'll shoot this bunny. You don't give me what I want, I'll shoot this bunny. But no, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's a little temporary pain right now. I don't know. It's knee-jerk reaction on a lot of people, Like,
yeah.
6 months ago they was all happy and on top of the world, and now they're selling everything and going on.
There's some guys you can't ever make happy. No. There's never enough money. The race could be at $15 a mile and still bitching.
I think we've been pretty consistent on the message, though, even back before any of this was thought about. And then, in our conversations with Paul and things that you and I have talked about, like, just do what you've always done. Do it in the best of times, do it in the worst of times, and that's run a good, tight, efficient business.
Well, I've even told guys not to, gouge that much. Make some connections with some brokers or customers, and then you end up getting the whole. Well, you're leaving money on the table. I said, well, that table might not be there in a few months.
And you said leaving money on the table, but you might have taken yourself to a table you might not necessarily ordinarily eat at. There's different ways to gouge. It ain't only money. Like, you gouge information.
It's just like you're saying about those carriers about sending the trailers to auction.
Yeah, Mark Ely, $100. Thank you, Mark. We're gonna put that right with the rest of it. Now we're like 2,600, something like that. We'll have a good total tomorrow. Yeah. So gouging, if that's what we were doing, or some people were doing, is like, you're leaving money on the table. Hey, information is money, right? It's as good as money, and information lasts longer, doesn't it? So if you spent this opportunity a good time, not saying that you work for nothing or whatever, they still get good money. If you spent that year and a half, 2 years gathering information, what do you got now? You got a freaking arsenal, right? And you go put it to work, and you prosper. It's always a good idea.
Well, rates still ain't. Well, I guess it depends. Rates still ain't that bad, but like I'm getting basically $4 a mile for what I'm doing, and sure, I might be spending like 75 cents every mile for fuel. That's still even after the 20% from the carrier. That's still what, like two something a mile, $2.50 a mile.
Still pretty damn good.
Still good money. As long as I didn't buy a bass boat and a new Silverado and a side by side.
Yeah. No, I mean,
historically,
go ahead,
if you spend 25 to 30% on diesel, that's normally what you spend on the rate. So we're still in a good spot, even with it being where it's at.
Yeah, and the smart will survive. Like, you posted that load, for $1.40 on a reefer load. Most people I know wouldn't take that.
Rates might climb up again. It all depends. But then again, the whole thing with China threatening about, what were they threatening about? Like cutting supplies off for certain things because I guess we were threatening to sanction them because they're helping Russia out. I'm sure that'll cause a pinch if that happens.
That's such a wild card, that war that's going on. Like, if we didn't have that, we could have a way clearer picture of what's going on. But think about this. Last year, I don't know if you remember, was it just before Christmas or right after? There was a period, November, December, right there, where they pushed rates down for like a week. Remember that? Especially like out in the Northeast.
Yep.
And
yeah, I remember.
It's what it is. It's in preparation because they know when the holiday comes, the rate's going to go sky high that week, right? Maybe it's a situation they know something we don't right now, and that rates are going to go sky high this summer or this spring, and they're trying to push it down where they can because they know that rebound's coming and it's going to go crazy. Am I saying that's going to happen? That's purely speculative. I'm just making that up.
I would say about every load I've been seeing is at least $500 to maybe $1,000 underneath the average.
Yeah.
Either the 15 or 30-day average.
Yeah.
So.
There's all kinds of possibilities. You know, oddly, just like in the stock market where a lot of it's robo trading and algorithm centric, there's so much of that in freight right now. Like there's so many algorithms and what do you call it? Information in the computer, like they know how many trucks are here and it comes predictive, right? They can predict volumes and truck availability. They can predict all these kinds of things that we never thought of. AI type stuff, right? That's all becoming real, like behind the scenes that we have nothing to do with it. They have information we could never dream of. So
yeah, a lot of those large brokers keep files of what you're taking rates and everything, and in the whole and what lane averages this for the entire year and all of that.
So who knows what goes on that we never see.
I tell people all the time, DAT is not for truckers. DAT is for brokers. Like the brokers get way better information on what's going on than the truckers do.
Oh yeah, yeah. Michael says Dart told him they have no trucks available. Interesting.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna hop off here. I got an early morning in the morning. I just want to say, MUDFLAP, fuel locks, merch tent.
Bam.
Money saved is money earned.
Hey, Cash, before you go, something's been missing out of my life here for a while. Could you tell me what it is? I forgot what it is.
No harmonica, maybe?
No. Oh, there's Sterling.
Hey, kids, can you hear me all right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys. I'm out of here.
All right.
Oh, geez.
Later, Sterling. Later, Jake.
Keep on trucking.
No. Bad DIY.
Oh.
Bad DIY.
All right. See you later, bro. So you singing?
It doesn't look like I got very good reception here.
Oh, you're coming in good on this end.
Okay.
Stand by.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Sushant Bajaj just sent $20 for the Make-A-Wish. Thank you so much. It's much appreciated. You coming in good over here? So, you singing them low freight rate blues?
Oh man, I
watch your videos.
I punched myself in the nuts yesterday, but I had to get out of the house. I'm getting $2.13 a mile to run to California tonight. Hauling a load of hay in my reefer, which was probably a pretty stupid mistake.
Oh.
Ooh.
You got that leaf blower.
Yeah, I've got a really good one. So the only issue with it is it's the large bales of hay, which, scrape the sides of your trailers all the way down.
They didn't take down your chute, did they?
No. Thankfully, got a pretty low profile chute that goes down the center of the trailer. I'll have a video about it probably tomorrow, and we'll see what the damage actually is. But I'm really nervous because my walls are bulging a little bit.
Ooh, and your bulkhead. If they push on it hard, they can damage that evaporator back there.
Yeah, and it's 22 bales. It wound up. They loaded me to gross. So there's 46,000 pounds of hay in my trailer.
Ooh.
And I did it for 11.25, but it was either that or deadhead to Idaho region or Southern California and stuff. But I seen the rates were easily 20% discount right now, and with fuel in the neighborhood right now hitting $6 a gallon, I got spooked. I'm also trying to get home Wednesday. My daughter's birthday is coming up. I don't want to jump and get back in your neck of the woods yet.
Okay. Well, if you do, shout out someday. We'll have a cup of coffee from a Trucker News coffee mug.
Yeah. Yeah, I was out there, I think last week, and I run up from Gulfport up there to Wisconsin.
Load of bananas.
And, yeah, and I can't believe how just friggin' unbelievable the market is there in the Midwest and stuff. You can go almost any direction you want still. Oh, let me rephrase that. Everything sucks. Just quit trucking. Never buy a truck. Never get into trucking.
Right.
Uber Eats is really good. It pays a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention something next week. So you'll have to let me know when you come up here. Either one of you, because you both do reefer, and I'm about to broker my first load next week.
Okay.
So, my aim is to make $50 off it. So I
Okay.
at least can say I made something. I'm only going to, like, my goal in the beginning, like, it's not the thing I want to do, but I want to try to build a credit rating for my brokerage.
There you go.
So I'm going to do one now and then, and I'm going to take 2% off the load, and then try to make like $50, and it'll only be for people that I know.
Can I get a $55,000 fuel advance on that?
You got com data? You take checks?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So
I accept Bitcoin too.
Okay.
We cutting the cheese out of there, out of Wisconsin.
It'll be potatoes.
Potatoes.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to haul a lot of potatoes out of, I think, Plover, Wisconsin.
Heard of it. Okay.
How to go make that Russian vodka.
Yeah.
Hey, it's cheaper to run your cars on vodka right now than gasoline.
Oh, I believe it.
Not for them over in Russia. They're doing fine.
Okay, so it's funny you mentioned that. There's a new YouTube channel I'm watching, and it might be the same one that you're watching, because it got recommended to me, and I started watching the dude's videos, and I'm like,
he talking about groceries?
Yeah.
He did one about they're not even
him and his wife and the kid and the daughter. They're walking through the grocery stores, showing what stuff costs, and then he breaks down the price of gas, drives around all the different gas stations, and breaks it down to U.S. dollars.
Yeah, that's what I
they're paying nothing.
They're paying $1.09 for diesel.
Yeah, that's
it went
gallon.
up. I think he said it went up like 10 cents or something.
Yeah, he shows what they're paying for rent, what they're paying, and then he shows what the hell's the name? I gotta find the channel. I wonder if I did it on my other account, but it's very interesting.
That's Russian propaganda. Don't worry, they'll shut that channel down.
I don't believe they are. I think that's real. Like,
no, I believe it's real too, because I've watched other Russian videos over there.
It's
before everything even happened, and it's not it's not everything everybody makes it out to be.
Yeah, Dan Sheekhoz, his name is. Last name is Sheekoz. I mean, they get a ton of views. My golly. Holy cow. $1 million of views on every video. But it shows like there's family's life in Russia. He breaks things down, what it really costs. It's damn interesting. Not saying it's a great place to be, but like, it's not what we're told.
Yeah,
it's not what we're told at all.
It's not what people usually think when they think of Russia.
No,
no. There's three sides to this story for sure. I just, I grew up in the West Coast and stuff, and we used to have these rolling blackouts in California, and I always wondered, what happened to all those, those CEOs and managers that, allowed that to happen. It's like, they're probably in the oil gas industry right now. Everyone that, got kicked out of Enron or something. It's like, nobody lost their head over, hey, let's shut off the power in California in the middle of summer.
Yeah, it was a perfectly reasonable thing for them to do, it seemed.
They probably got promotions, bonuses.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little nuts out there. Like, but unfortunately, it's contagious to the rest of the country.
What I see though is there's such a price discrepancy between like the big truck stops and the mom and pops. I mean, you could save yourself 50 cents a gallon just by going to, some place that don't have a discount card.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I don't, and it's their actions are at a certain point suicidal.
You're paying for convenience. I guess that's mostly what.
They have all these problems out there, yet they could solve a lot of them by just easing a little bit of regulation. I guess what they're doing with trucks in the port and the the DEF and all that. Like you could solve a lot of your own problems just by ease up for 6 months. But no, they tell you what, it's one thing they are committed.
Yeah.
I do keep on catching some of these YouTube videos where there's still guys just going out there without pre-emissions trucks and stuff.
Yeah,
nothing's happening. I've been thinking about it, but I don't know. I really don't even want to deal with it. I've been out to California a few times and stuff, and just, I don't know. The rates I never really got were anything special to.
It's all fine until you get caught, because I think CARB they can fine you per day if you really piss them off. Yeah,
they impound your equipment, and you gotta fix it before you can leave.
Driving 2,600 or 2,800 miles across the country for like $6,000 don't really seem very. I don't know. It doesn't really seem very reasonable to me, especially with fuel as much as it is out there.
Well, I've backed down my cruising speed. Like today, I was doing 60 mile an hour, which is fun because the Highway 80 here in Nevada is 80 miles an hour. It's like I'm getting past like I was sitting still, and it's like, I'm glad you can afford the fuel.
You'll survive, and they won't.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Flying by.
Yeah, I just went to Illinois and back it for like 59 miles an hour. I was getting like 9 miles a gallon. But that's what it takes. Like, and everybody passing you, I'm like, man, you're the one that's going to be screaming about fuel price. You're the first one going to be screaming.
Yeah, but here's what's going to happen is, like, when the times get really tight and those company drivers that are doing 70 mile an hour, management will say, hey, your numbers look terrible, and there's the door.
Yeah, or how about
I wonder what's going to happen to all those 70, 75 cent company drivers here, eventually.
It's not sustainable. I don't know how they paid it in the first place, but like
hopes and dreams.
Freight rates, built on future promises, right?
Yeah.
Freight rates correct. You can't pay that.
They're gonna not leaving money on the table. That's what the way they're doing it, like that.
So I had the thought, like, obviously there's the Russian companies everybody knows in like Chicago, like they're famous, right? And people always say it's all Russian mafia and built with mafia money. Like, and I've thought for a long time, I'm like, that could be true, because how do they grow these companies so fast? And they always seem to have a company from day one with brand new trucks, brand new trailers, not like work up to it. Like, how does this happen? And then I'm like, okay, maybe it is Russian mafia money. How do you think they're feeling right about now with what's going on? I'm like, do you think the money's been cut off from the motherland?
It's got to be, yeah.
I wonder what happens there.
To be honest, I bet there's a lot more people sitting in Washington, D.C. that have had the money cut off.
Oh, yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, but they probably got it stockpiled.
Altogether, you gotta wonder, like, why is our attention collectively so caught up in this war? So, like, what else is going on, like, in America?
Yeah, it's like I said before. You watch what the other hand's doing. Somebody said today that we're all so distracted by this, and not to get. I don't want to get on this topic, but right now they're pushing hard and being pretty successful with a vaccine passport because we're not paying attention to it.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot that goes on when you ain't looking. We're distracted. It's kind of cause for concern a little bit.
Yeah. I hope Kim Kardashian's okay. I haven't heard about her.
I don't care about her. I mean, like,
did Chernobyl blow up yet? Remember, we only had like 24 hours or something, and it was going to blow up and kill everybody, and radiation was going to spew from one end to the other. I haven't heard nothing about that lately, and it was supposed to already have, happened.
I'm just glad mail order brides have gotten real cheap.
A friend of mine that works at the shop where I get some work done on the trailers, they have a friend that is stuck in Ukraine right now that went over there for that purpose, and he cannot leave.
Oh.
Yeah, so I guess they're getting to know each other really well.
Yeah.
I wonder how much she likes him hanging around for that long.
Oh, he has to make it to the Polish border to be able to leave, I think.
Yeah, Poland. I wonder if they even could.
True love knows no bounds.
On YouTube, they were an American citizen. They left through Poland.
Interesting. Yeah, Mark M says radioactive mail order brides. Yeah, there you go.
Be a great movie.
Yeah, surprised it hasn't been done. What?
So what do you got going on tonight, Adam? I just woke up and seen you guys going live. You got something to make a wish?
Oh yeah, well we were gonna just talking, about rates and fuel prices and that, and doing this thing this weekend for an establishment here has a fundraiser for Make a Wish Foundation, and we do this polar plunge. I don't know, you're probably familiar with the concept, right? Bunch of idiots jump in the frozen lake. Well, ours is a redneck polar plunge.
For me, it usually involves beer and a dare.
Yeah. Oh, there'll be ample amounts of that, and then the fire department's coming. They're filling up a swimming pool, and it's supposed to be so cold this weekend. Oh, Saturday's supposed to be 20 degrees with a wind and wind chill. Today it was like 20 degrees, but the wind was so strong, the wind chill was like 0.
That's summer weather there in Wisconsin.
Yeah, last year it was 34 degrees, so it was actually a pretty nice day. Not looking forward to this time, but I'm like, you know what? We didn't participate last year. We were just lookers on and just seeing it, and like, you know what? We're gonna get involved in that. So that's pretty cool. So we're doing this. I'm gonna jump. I've decided, and looking, if anybody wants to sponsor it, they can send money to the Cash App. I zeroed out my Cash App on camera today, showed it a zero balance, and Cash App is $DIY semi. Okay. Anything you send there, matching it up to $1,000. Mark Cerrone said, "Hey, let's take it up to 2,000, and I'll split that second 1,000 with you." So we're at like $2,500 right now, and dropping a video about it tomorrow. So if you could share that out, I'd appreciate it. Facebook or YouTube or whatever. All the money is going to go to. We know a family last year that their child got their wish, and it was really cool.
I really like that organization. Yeah.
Yeah, and they take care of the whole family. Like when the kid goes for their wish, the whole family's taken care of. So they all experience it together.
I always wondered about that. Do they just sweep the kid off into a mystery van and the parents just get a vacation?
No, we got an inside look at the organization when they did that, and it was really cool. So everybody's got their own cause. That's something we can get behind. So, and then I'm going to live stream it on Saturday so everybody can see that I went through with it. And then we'll make a little video, doing the donation or whatever. And I'm keeping track of everybody's names. Oh, I don't. Okay. Yeah, that one. Yep. Keeping track of everybody's names so they can get proper credit for it here. And hopefully I live through it. That's all I'm hoping for.
Well, we all lived through the last 2 years, so there ain't nothing going to get us now.
I hope not. Wouldn't that be the shits of it all? Live, make it through all that, and then, little hypothermia gets you. Little hypothermia never hurt anybody, I always say.
Nope.
We talking about nuclear winter or not?
So
I found out how to piss off people in Wisconsin though last week. It was in the 20s. I was walking around in shorts, and man, I got some dirty looks. I was like, "Hey, I'm from California. Ignore me."
Yeah, what gets me like that. Don't get me. What gets me is seeing these dudes wearing flip flops and no socks, right? And then these parachute pants, but then wearing this big poofy jacket, walking around doing this. I'm like, well, dumbass, put some shoes on, so your feet ain't wet and cold, and you wouldn't be standing there doing this.
Yeah.
Like you're trying so hard to stay warm, but you won't even cover up your feet.
Yeah, but that's the same guy that puts footprints on the dashboard, so don't worry about him.
Yeah. Yeah. Mark M says, I would do a trial run first in cold water just so you know what's coming. I don't think I want to know what's coming. I stuck my hand in there today. I don't want to know what's coming. We're just going to
jump in 2 feet.
I thought about it. I could just jump in waist deep, but then that's not committed. I can't swim either, so I'll probably put some water wings on.
There you go.
Get me a pool noodle. Yeah.
Just as long as it doesn't clash with your tutu, it's fine.
I know. I've been told I can't wear Speedo. No banana hammocks, he said.
Oh, what a shame.
I mean, hey, anything for the kids, right?
Yep.
Well, that's going south.
Making life jealous.
But speaking of going south, I'm waiting for a lot lizard to show up. So I'm going to say goodnight to you guys and good luck on raising up some money there.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, I'm just saying, sometimes you write them a bad com check and they don't know it's bad till they go to cash it. So.
Yeah, but they always do it with a gun in my head, so I don't want to make them mad.
All right. Well, to each his own, I guess.
That's a very uncomfortable phone call when they're on com data, Wait for it to clear.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Night,
We'll see you later.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think I got to get to bed too. I got to get up at 5 and go to the airport and pick somebody up.
I go deliver near the ports.
What's
in
that?
Jersey. I said I got to go deliver some candy near the ports in Jersey. Yeah.
Swedesboro?
Yeah.
Going to Swedesboro?
No, it's what the heck is it called? East Coast Warehousing, Elizabeth. Yeah, and then off the BJ's warehouse down there in Burlington.
BJ's a pretty good place to go.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't too worried about getting stuck there.
Yeah.
So,
well,
then
shoot. Then what? What do you got? What do we got for a backhaul?
Backhaul? Let's see. Saturday. It's going to be a late drop, so we're going to find whatever pays really well. Saturday is what we're going to do because let's see, Tuesday I sat there at the terminal because I got a DOT inspection, so they did some brakes and my ELD was messed up. So we'll probably end up probably taking something down to Florida, maybe. Not really where I want to go, but
Florida season should be warming up here pretty soon.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I think
nursery.
I think they were supposed to have was it not strawberries?
Strawberries
grapes?
should be over.
Grapes, I think it was supposed to be grapes or berries, something like that.
Let me just check Orlando, Florida, right now. Ooh, hey. Oh no. I take that back. You're prematurely excited. You could go to Mass. You could go to Minnesota for $4,000. You go to Illinois for $2,900 out of Florida. To Batavia. That's Aldi. That's Aldi all day long.
Too bad.
Yeah, after that it really drops off.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not a good season yet.
I'm just doing it to pad the weekend, that's all, because it kind of got messed up anyway. So
okay, yeah, keep an eye. It should pick up here soon. So you got to get that nursery stock out to all the Tractor Supplies and the Home Depots and all that. That's where that E-Track really pays off. There's some E-Track in your reefer.
There's a big nursery out where I live out here in what is it called? McAdoo. Out there in Alpha 81. It's a huge nursery. But they're usually, you're talking about at least 15 stops sometimes.
Yeah.
That's the only problem with that.
Yeah. They're not so bad if they got a dock. Sometimes you'll get Home Depot or Tractor Supply or Walmart's, whatever. But yeah, tailgate and all that stuff. And that sucks. Makes a heck of a mess in the trailer too.
Yeah. Definitely gonna wash out after that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's Betty by time. Thanks for coming and doing this.
Yeah. No problem. I know I ended up getting near the tail end. I didn't get no notification, so.
Oh, that's okay.
Again.
That's okay.
It's all right.
Yeah. Thanks for everybody for coming, and thank you very much for support for Make-A-Wish. It is very much appreciated. They will be very grateful, and nobody ever thought I could raise any money for them. So shame on them. Nanny. I showed you. But everybody take care, and hey, we'll see you maybe Saturday. So everybody take care.
Yep. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.